Thank you.
Can you put chips on this spot? Is that a problem?
I don't think so. These chips are not RFID.
So we feel like that's an okay thing to do?
Everything's okay, is it?
Gigantic numbers.
Yeah, the super index
These
sucks.
huge numbers.
I hate super index. We're not playing blackjack.
You gotta see them for the cameras.
Raise, C1 raise to 25.
Oh, yeah, his name's, yeah. My name's Conrad also, yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Re-raise. C2 re-raise to 40.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, because I've been confused a few times.
42,000.
I never knew his last name, so.
17 more, right?
Yeah. Check. C2 bet. 47,000. Call. Check. Check. Check.
Yeah.
Check.
I have the hand.
Check.
Yeah, check. Good check. 10 out of every trap was taken.
All right, as you can see, we are underway. This is Brian Molesky and Judd Greeneagle, Mid-States Poker Tour Series at Best Bet Jacksonville, Florida. It's been a tremendous week so far, as you can see there at the top of the screen. This is event number 6, $200 buy-in, 50,000 guarantee. We had 311 runners, and we are down to the final table of 10.
Very exciting. Lots of action here in Jacksonville. What a great spot to kick off the 2015 season, Brian.
Yeah, it's we're excited to be here. This is our first ever stop at Best Bet Jacksonville, and man, this card room, as everybody knows, has a phenomenal reputation. It is very well run. It's beautiful. It's huge. It's certainly one of the best card rooms in the country. I don't think there's anybody that would argue much with that. So we are, as you mentioned, excited to kick off the 2015 season here in Florida, and the weather is beautiful.
It is 70 degrees and sunny. There's still plenty of time to get here for the main event, which starts tomorrow and Saturday. You can enter both days if you don't make it through the first one, and I would love to see you. They've given away a lot of seats down here in the last few weeks.
Yep.
Promoted the heck out of the tournament, so expecting a pretty big turnout.
Yeah, so as I mentioned here in the intro, this is event number 6. This is $200 buy-in, and as Judd just mentioned, the main event, the big show, kicks off tomorrow with Flight 1A at 4 p.m., which is Friday, of course, and then Saturday at 3 p.m. is Flight 1B, and I believe it's 3 p.m. Unfortunately, here in Florida, I cannot have a laptop or a phone in this back
Yes.
room to confirm any of this, but
We are quite sequestered here.
yeah, so we have zero communication with the outside world, but that's okay. So we're going to enjoy a fun final table here, hopefully, and in just a second we'll go through some of these players
Excellent.
and see what kind of information we have on them. But I've played in a few of the prelim events so far this week, and so I've played with the gentleman in the 2-seat, for example, took
Okay.
me out of Flight 1A,
Oh, boy.
and so I've got a lot of bad things to say about him.
Perfect.
No, that's not true.
No,
but,
I played in the flight last night, and I'm looking here to see if any of these guys might have gotten me. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but
that's not a monumental feat to knock one of us out of a tournament.
no,
I'm just
not at
saying.
all. I am impressed, though, with the play down here. I played the tournament last night and a little bit of cash games today, and I will say that the play and along with the dealers and floor staff are great.
They're not afraid to play big pots, are they?
No,
They
they
mix
like
it
it.
up. They mix it up. Yep, there's a
Exactly.
lot of action. They like to play down here. They don't like to sit out a lot of hands,
No, they don't.
which which makes it a lot of fun to play. To
It
be
is.
honest with you.
6 raise 36.
So we're gonna this level here is gonna end probably at the
couple
end of this
minutes.
hand, I think, actually. And
And for those, so we're new to Florida, so we probably have a lot of people watching, friends and family of all these players, who have never seen this setup before. So
It's true.
for those not familiar with the Mid-States Poker Tour, and I know I've had a lot, I've answered a lot of questions about the Mid-States since we're in Florida. Now that we're in Florida, we're in Nevada, we're in Maryland. Colorado. We're kind of all over the place now. Louisiana, we've been in Oklahoma. So I've had to explain that a little bit. I said, just focus on the acronym.
Yes.
The MSPT. It's evolved over the years.
It
and
certainly
now
has.
we're in 22, I think we have 22 plus events in 11 or 12 states this year. So, and Florida being a new state, and man, we've met a lot of great players, a lot of great characters and individuals here that we've had the opportunity to meet and play with all week long. So I'm rooting for a lot of them.
exactly, and there's a lot of our regular players that are here or on their way here.
Yeah, so we are primarily from the Midwest. That's where we started. It has evolved much larger than that, but we do have a lot of players rolling in that we've seen already from South Dakota, Michigan, Minnesota, Chicago, and a lot of them tweeting that they're on their way.
Yep.
And I think you mentioned even John Morgan and DQ Dan from John Morgan was plays in the one drop
Yeah.
every year.
He's played in all three of them.
He's played in all 3 one drops. which,
Greg Raymer's here. He's playing an Omaha event today.
Yep.
And he's here for the main event as well. So he came in from North Carolina.
And then we got Bemidji legend Matt Kirby on the way in.
The Paul Bunyan of poker.
Paul Bunyan of poker, and Jason Zarlenga, who won 2 MSPT events last year. Each of them, of course, for over 100K a pop. So he won well over 200,000 on the MSPT last season. He's on his way.
Yep, he'll be here, and he'll be a force to reckon with. Looking forward to his arrival.
Yep, and then of course every time we're in a new state, we get to meet a lot of new great players that will hopefully follow us going forward. So I'm looking forward to watching a lot of these Florida players down here, and I know clearly there's a lot of great players and a lot of great poker in Florida. So it should be a fun weekend ahead.
Absolutely.
So now that we got all that out of the way, again, it's Mid-States Poker Tour at Best Bet Jacksonville. Lowercase, by the way.
Yes.
Best Bet. Let's go around the horn a little bit. So to start this final table, over there in the 1 seat, depending on your view, that is Mick Robelato out of Fernandina Beach. And I apologize. I actually have some difficult names here at the final table. It's never sometimes you get the Joe Smith or the Josh Miller, the easy ones. I got some tough ones here today, so I'm going to battle through it.
Okay.
So Mick Robelato out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. He started this final table. He's there in the 1 seat with 319K. So we'll go around the horn a little bit, and we'll talk about these players as we go. Hopefully they're here for a little while. And sometimes it's easier, obviously there you see Robelato. as we mentioned, this is an RFID table, so those squares there read the cards, and then they superimpose that information, as you can see, for you on the screen. And what's great about this final table is that you get to see what everybody has all the time. So you've probably watched broadcasts in the past where they only show you the hand if that player gets involved in the pot, which is frustrating sometimes because somebody will tank for 3 minutes.
And you're sitting there wondering
what they had, and they fold, they didn't enter the pot, so you never get to see their cards. So there you have it, 311 runners. We're down to 10, playing for 12K up top.
Blinds are 8 and 16,000 with I believe it said $2,000 ante.
Yep, DiCero, of course, is the chip leader. A nice chip lead, by the way, with 814,000. And so we are broadcasting this on a 30-minute delay. Typically, we would have access to Twitter, where the fans often like to ask us questions or make some comments. Unfortunately, today we cannot, as we mentioned, we are sequestered. We cannot answer that stuff. So don't be tweeting at us because we won't get it.
Until later.
But of course, later on, MSPT Poker, at MSPT Poker on Twitter, and of course, / MSPT Poker on Facebook. Check it out. Of course, the complete schedule. We've got 20-some events in a lot of states coming up here. MSPTpoker.com. And
from here, where do we go? We go to Running Aces, I believe.
yeah, we go to Minnesota, back to Minnesota, and then Wisconsin Dells. Man, we're all over the place. Then I know we've got Iowa and Colorado.
Iowa, Colorado, Milwaukee,
and then
Michigan in there somewhere.
Yep. And then, of course, a brand new event at Maryland Live.
Yeah, that's going to
in
be a
April.
big one.
I'm so excited about that. But looks like Dixon's picking up Ace King here. We will talk a little bit about the cards.
Sorry, how much do you have behind?
Also, we've got a little announcement for all you guys who do play the MSPT regularly. We've got a new sponsor for our Player of the Year. Just finalized that this afternoon. MSPT Player of the Year in 2015 is going to get a $5,000 custom home audio package from Holm, Holm Audio, out of Naperville, Illinois.
Perfect.
Mike Holm is a
Who
great...
plays regularly on the MSPT.
He does. He's made a
Yep.
few final tables. I think he's got a second and a sixth maybe last year he had.
Yep.
And great guy. Comes to a lot of the events in the Midwest. He's going to sponsor the POI for 2015, and we're real excited about that. And
Yeah. And of course, so Home Audio providing the 5K
5K
custom home audio package, which is awesome. That's super cool prize, and that's also in addition to the cash prizes that we're not taking that away.
Yep.
So the Player of the Year gets a $1,500, $1,100 buy-in, $400 airfare to our mid-season championship every year at the Venetian, which is a huge event every June. Well, I shouldn't say it is now every June. Last year was our first time. And then as well as they get cash awards at all the different stops that's, generally worth about $5,000 to $7,000. So that puts our Player of the Year package up near probably about $12,000, which is fantastic. So thanks so much to Home Audio for that, because HOLM, that's a I wish I could get that price, to be honest with you. That sounds pretty cool.
yeah, you can check him out at homeaudio.com, HOLMAUDIO.com, and he is in the Chicago area in Naperville, Illinois. So Mike, looking forward to seeing you soon, and thank you for joining Team MSPT.
So Judd and I are here in the back room. We're the only ones that can see the whole card. So right now we know that Dixon is running well. He picked up Ace King and now Ace Queen. Looks like Campana with Queen 9 off raises to 40.
I
So
think
James
Dixon's gonna probably...
James Dixon is the gentleman in the 9 seat with the he's got the Draft Kings hat on. The black Draft Kings hat on there in the 9 seat.
Okay,
He's out of Jacksonville, Florida.
probably put his stack in here, I'm guessing.
Dixon there is, with Ace Queen, I would think so. He's
like
he's retired.
Plays poker every day, he says. Lives here in Jacksonville. His largest live cash, I believe, is
6,300. So he's got a shot to double that today.
Yep, he does. He's thinking here.
So Campana. And it looks like Dixon's going to fold.
All right.
So Britt Campana out of Florence, South Carolina,
All right.
will take down that pot with Queen 9 offsuit. He's a sports bar owner. He should have put his name down here. We could have
We
plugged
could
it.
have plugged the sports bar. Maybe
Yeah.
it's called the sports bar.
Maybe it is, yeah, sports bar owner. Must be out of South Carolina, so glad he made the trip down.
Plays poker 6 days a week, and
Yeah,
gonna plan to play all year.
yeah.
I hope we see him on the MSPT all year.
So that's Britt there in the 5 seat. Gray hoodie. Hey, anytime you can pick up a pot with Queen 9 off, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
Doesn't look like too much here. In the 2 seat, we call him Johnny.
Johnny Ear.
Johnny Ear. He goes by Johnny. He's got 6s. Johnny took me out of Flight 1A in a massive pot. He and I were.
I heard about
This
this.
is my sob story. He and I were. We both had big stacks, let's say, on day 1A, and we got into a nice pot, and I think it pretty much just played itself. He had aces under the gun. He opened pre-flop. I had 5s on the button. I called. Flop comes Queen 10-5. He bets. I raise. He jams, which, of course, he's got aces. He's never going anywhere. And I call with my set of 5s, and he rivered the ace. But that's just one of those hands where
You get it in good.
he's
and
going to get it in. I'm going to get it in, and that's the way it goes. So.
Poker gods were not smiling on you.
Not on me that
Brian.
time, but that, of course, catapulted him. Well, he already had clearly he had me covered, and he had a really nice stack already, for the record. And he ended day 1A chip leader, which gave him a $500 chip leader bonus out of day 1A. So Johnny Ear is free rolling.
Yeah, he's
He's actually
made
bought
money.
in for 200. He cashed out for 500 on the first day, and he's here at the final table.
guaranteed about 1,000 here
Looking
if he
for
goes
another
out
12.
10th.
Also, if you get a chance, obviously you're on your computer if you're watching this right now, get out to bestbetjax.com. This, as we mentioned, man, this room has got everything going on. There's multiple tournaments going on all the time. There's every cash game you can think of. Omaha. The other day they were running 7-card stud games, which I thought was awesome. And of course, every no limit game you can think of.
Absolutely, and they have a huge
satellites,
bad beat jackpot going
cash
now.
tournaments. Yeah, the bad
Over-
beat jackpot's well over 200, right?
Yeah, over 200,000 right now.
They give out. I mean, the promotions here are second to none. I've never seen a place with marketing.
No, they are doing it right. They're
like they do here. So it's Deb Jardina, who's well known to be
Reflection on Deb.
one of the best directors in the country. She's a Hall of Fame member.
yeah. She
as of
she was
2014.
inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, and congratulations to Deb.
Yep. So she's certainly very well known in the industry as one of the top directors in the country. I know she ran Canterbury Park at one point.
Opened it up.
Which is a big room, one of the largest rooms in the Midwest. The Win.
The Win in Vegas.
So she's got a nice resume of
Great track record and a great team.
fantastic rooms. And best bet, of course, is the #1 card room in Florida.
Yep.
So,
The,
which is saying a lot because
It
there
is.
is a lot of
Busy
many
card rooms here.
Card rooms in the state of Florida.
No, this is great. This is my first time here in the room, and I am very impressed with it.
Yep. And Jesse Hollander, of course, is the poker room manager here. He runs the show with Deb, and he's great to work with as well. And they do a fantastic job. And I got the opportunity to do the local radio show, the local poker radio show with Jesse and
Allie?
and
His-
Allie.
his wife?
Yep, Allie Hollander on Hollander, I should say, on last what is it, 1010XL radio here in Jacksonville, sports station, great sports station.
Excellent.
That's what I listen to when I'm driving from the hotel to the poker room is 1010XL. And they run that show on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. And it was a lot of fun, and I very appreciative of the opportunity to do that. I had a great time, and they run a great show in there. So
We should take a moment here to mention also that back home on Monday, the Minnesota radio poker show is going to be on KFAN.
yeah, if you're in the upper Midwest, it generally has reached to about 5 states.
iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio app. Yeah, so the show that I do with Corey Cove, Monday nights, 9 p.m. And you can, of course, get it on demand, KFAN.com. 11:30 up there, or 101 or 100.3. It's 100.3.
100.3. And it takes a little hiatus during the football season.
Yeah, for some reason, apparently, Monday Night Football gets better
Gets
ratings
better
than
ratings.
our poker show.
Amazing.
So we do take a little break during the football season, but we're back on Monday.
excited
I will
for
be,
that.
yeah, I'll actually be recording the show from Jacksonville because I'll be,
Probably at the
it's a travel
airport.
day. Yep.
We've got a big hand here. Looks like the 6th seat.
Mackenzie.
I'm gonna guess his first name is not Doug. Is he from Canada?
Taylor McKenzie out of
Alright.
Kingston, Massachusetts. I love
Wow.
when I see these South Carolina, Massachusetts rolling in down here in
Absolutely.
Best Bet. He's landscape design. Looks like he plays a little bit out at Foxwoods, which is
Alright.
cool.
Well, good.
Likes to play 1-2, 2-5, no limit cash. Plays, he says, about every other weekend. So great. I'm glad he made the trip down. That's
Great.
awesome.
I'm sure he is too.
Yeah, and he's starting his week off right. He's going to be
We-
rolling into the main. Unfortunately for him, we'll see if he gets. He's going to raise here.
We got Barnett all in, and
And that's unfortunate timing for Barnett because McKenzie's not going anywhere.
no, and they both actually are
But
on a short stack.
Barnett's got an ace, and sometimes that's all you need in this game.
I found that out.
Yep.
Let's see what happens here.
So Barnett's all in. So Bren Barnett out of St. Augustine, Florida. He came here with the short stack. He's also retired.
A lot of
And,
retired people down here.
Ooh, that's actually not a terrible flop
a
for
good
him because
flop
now
for
he's
him.
got 2 more outs with 2.
Oh,
And there
there's
it
his
is.
ace.
Yeah.
hand is 5.
Well, that's certainly a tough break. And now it's not like Barnett had a ton of chips, but that puts a big.
Well,
that puts
McKenzie was short as
He
well.
was short too, so that's a heartbreaker for him. That's what we like to call a cooler in the business. Well,
I like to call it
I was gonna say that's more of a bad beat.
Yeah, I like to call it the Judd because
The
I
Judd.
feel like I'm on the wrong end of that one a lot.
Wasn't necessary. Yeah.
Now I don't play well, so I put myself in that
I was gonna say
position.
you sound like a typical poker player. right?
Exactly, narcissistic.
So Barnett's gonna double. He's up to 238 now. McKenzie in trouble. That's a tough break for him because
Got under 10 big blinds.
this is the time of the game when you want to pick up those hands. He got it, and it did not hold. So unfortunately, he will take a big hit.
So any of you that are watching this and want to decide to come down for tomorrow or Saturday's main event, and maybe a little ways away, you can log on to MSPT Poker. That's msptpoker.com. There's a link on there, and you can get discounted airfare on Delta
Yeah.
with us. And it's easy flight. It's only 20 minutes to the airport here in Jacksonville from the card room. And,
You can be on your flight in the morning.
be on the flight in the
Plenty
morning
of
or
time.
tonight even.
Yeah, so we have a 200K guarantee on that main event, and I know as of, this was even a day or two ago, that there was already over 140 seats, or 140 people registered, whether it be qualifier seats or promotional seats, over 140, and they still have a qualifier tonight at 7 p.m. with 20 seats guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed
They're
20
gonna-
seats in that. That's
they're
amazing.
Guaranteed to award 20 seats. So if you're nearby, you're definitely going to want to play in that because there may be some overlay. There's probably going to be some overlay,
Yeah.
I would imagine, giving away that many seats.
I also believe that there's a turbo qualifier here if you're local that started 16 minutes ago possibly.
Okay, so still a
Or
little
it
time.
starts shortly. I'm sure if it did start, you can still get in it.
So there's a shot. See that big 200K up there in the right-hand corner? That was the main event guarantee. We're going to pretty much almost have met that by the time we kick off tomorrow at 4 p.m.
All right.
So Charles, and I like to see these guys are mixing it up a little bit. They're not waiting necessarily for premium hands. We saw, we've seen pots taken down with Queen 9, and of course, that's a great flop for Charles.
Yeah, the King Jack outflopped the Ace Queen.
Sebastian Charles, another local guy out of Jacksonville,
Looks like his largest cash is 8,500. He's a anesthesiologist.
plays 3 times a week. So it looks like he says he's a big soccer fan, and he's already got down on here. He's planning to play the MSPT main event this weekend. So he's got he's likely going to be free rolling that after this.
Yeah.
And he's got Rourke over there in the 10 seat, sitting behind the dealer. retail management. He's also, well, we got a few Jacksonville guys at this final table, so he needs an ace or a queen to catch up here, though. Plays a couple times a week, cash and tournaments. David Rourke.
All in, C4 call.
Oh, wow. So Rourke decides to make a move. And unfortunately for him, Charles snap called. I'm not sure that's such an easy snap call
No,
with
there's a lot of-
Jack King kicker, but he does. He makes, oh,
Oh my goodness.
and Rourke hits. So now when you're making that play, if you're Rourke, that's actually part of what you're factoring in, right? I mean, it's a semi-bluff per se. He feels that he may have felt it's possible he's ahead.
2 overs.
But
and
if he's
gut shot
wrong,
and-
right? So
Yeah.
he's also got some fold equity there. But even if he's wrong, he still has outs. So that's some of the things that when he makes that move, I'm sure he was factoring all those types of things in. He may think that he still has a king,
King.
queen, ace. So he's trying to get the guy to fold. But if he doesn't, that's
he
plan
can
B.
hit his,
right?
plan B.
It's plan B. So all those things get factored in when he's making that jam, and plan B was the correct option there.
Yes.
He got there. So we've seen some interesting hands here already.
This is good.
Action packed.
I'm enjoying this final table.
First thing we said was it was action packed down
Yes,
here, and
it is.
these guys have not yet disappointed. So DeCero still with the chip lead. McKenzie, Charles. I think the
catching
blinds
up.
are 8-16. So even the short stack is 10 bigs here.
Absolutely. If you
So there's plenty of play.
if you're looking for the structure for the main event, it's an Alan Kessler, the chainsaw approved structure. Alan helped worked with the team here and helped design it. And
With MSPT, that is.
MSPT team.
Yeah,
yes.
nothing to do with, this actually is not, the main event is Alan Kessler approved.
Yes.
The rest of these structures are, of course, best bet structures, so.
So we've got an ace king and an ace queen out here. So
And Dixon's been a little bit of a card rack so far. He's at ace king. This is his second time with ace queen. But unfortunately for him, I think he's going to probably get it in with ace queen here.
and be a
He'll
huge underdog.
Yeah, he'll probably jam over the top of DeCero, and then DeCero is likely going to call.
Well, I
Right.
think he
Wow, he
folded.
folded.
No, he folded it the other time too.
Yeah. Okay, well,
I'm learning a lot here.
I did see Mick Robolato made a huge fold with ace king with 11 players to go. That is not something that I have in me. To be
Against
honest.
aces and kings or something.
I didn't see what the other player has, but he opened from the cutoff. They were playing six-handed. So when you get ace king six-handed,
You're feeling pretty good.
that's a monster. And it folded to him in the cutoff. He raised the small blind, which at the time was our 7-seat over there, who's got a pile. I think it's our chip leader,
Yeah, DeCharo.
DeCero. So DeCero jammed over the top of him, basically doing what he should do and putting a lot of pressure on him. And Mick Robolato folded ace king. I think I pretty much snapped call there.
Nice snap call,
But-
I think.
That doesn't make it the right decision.
No, absolutely. It probably makes it wrong.
I have no idea what DeCero had. He could have had aces, he could have had kings, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, Robolato is moving on. And he's sitting here with a chance to win this tournament. So, and even if you call it ace king, even you're behind pocket fives technically.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it certainly can be a wise decision. 311 players. We are down to 10 MSPT series at Best Bet Jacksonville. You're watching this on an RFID final table. We show you the whole cards, folks. This is live, basically on a 30-minute delay, so you don't have to wait 6 months to see it on some obscure satellite channel when you already know who won, because this is happening as we speak.
In
So
real time.
this
sort
is
of.
the only way to watch poker, in my opinion.
I agree.
With all the social media buzz with these guys,
You
Now,
already
these
know
guys,
what happens.
Yeah, these guys are not allowed to use electronics at the final table. On their breaks, they can certainly come back and chat with you.
With their
and,
friends, not with us, but with
Yeah,
their friends.
Correct, yep.
Okay. C6.
They wouldn't want to chat with us because it'd be bad advice.
Yeah, we tell them something wrong, I'm sure. So it looks
Lots
like
of eights, queens going around. So
Yeah.
Barnett's got the hand this time. Once again, Barnett out of St. Augustine, Florida.
Mackenzie's all in with the ace-6.
Okay.
And Barnett's got him slightly covered. So got some
I
money
don't.
in already.
I mean, I can't find a fold button with ace queen of hearts here.
In the
a
small
hun-
blind, no.
With a 12 big blind stack.
Yeah, no. And he's all in.
And this generally happens when you get to a final table. These players have held on a little bit longer just to get this far, so there's always going to be a couple of short stacks. So there's a lot of action early, and then once we get to 4 or 5 handed, it slows down a lot.
Yeah, we've had a few of them I know at some other stops that
Yep.
all of a sudden they bust out left and right, and we think, it's going to
So
be an easy night.
McKenzie's in trouble, but he does have the
Backdoor straight and flush draw.
Yep.
Oh boy, there's no action card.
He's got 4 outs now.
He
He's
needs
got
an
an 8.
8.
Get out.
And
He does not get there.
so unfortunately for McKenzie, he's going to be the first to go here in 10th place.
Is that our sports bar owner from South Carolina?
Nope, that is Taylor McKenzie, landscape design. He's out of Kingston, Massachusetts. So
All
we
right.
lost our first outstater, but phenomenal run for Taylor.
Yep, I've seen him around the poker room all week.
Yep, you can't blame him for shoving that hand there with that stack. That's just he just ran into a bigger hand, unfortunately.
Yeah, even picking up the blinds and antes is a big
And
boost for him.
and I missed on the clock there how much he took home, but because we don't have it in front of us. But
I believe it was $9.96.
there you go.
Could be wrong.
So 5x on his money, not too bad. That's a nice
Nice
weekend.
return.
Yeah, nice day of work. So we're down to 9. Campana picks up a
Pocket
couple of
deuces.
ducks. Not a lot else out there. Let's see who wants it. These are the fun's hand. You get to see who wants to battle for it.
I'm guessing that
Who's got
Charles
heart?
in the small blind might.
Who's got heart?
Actually, Charles in the small blind probably raises suited ace. And Campana's going to have a pair.
Yeah.
Charles is pretty short, so he might just go, it could fold around to him easily.
So Dixon called with Jack 7 of diamonds, huh? Okay.
That's how we got that big stack.
Actually, I was going to say I saw Barnett there at. It's probably bad that the first thing that popped in my head was pop it from the button with a limper, right?
Yeah.
I got 2 suited cards on the button with a limper.
Yeah.
How would I'm
raising
popping that
it up.
every time.
Yeah.
And he
That's why we're commentating.
probably gets Charles and Campana to fold, to be honest, if he does that, and Dixon probably as well, but he doesn't know that.
Well, he
That-
flops a jack.
Yep.
C5, that's 40.
I'm all in.
C9 is all in.
Ooh.
Campana bet out.
Dixon instantly jammed, which I actually like that bet up by Campana because his hand is going to be good the majority of the time. But Dixon hit his jack, and he didn't waste any time jamming that in there. I don't love the jam there with the 334K stack. I would have liked to see a little more. He had position on him. I would have liked to see more of a min raise there because you're only ever getting called in that spot if you're dominated.
Yeah, and he was in the
Most likely. So,
big blind. He could have easily had an ace-5 or something.
yeah. Well, that's just it, right?
Yeah.
He could have had a bigger jack or even a 5, even 6s. Well, I guess he wins in that spot, but I'd like to see a little bit less aggression there just because by jamming there, you're only ever getting called by a hand that is crushing you. But nonetheless, he takes it down. That's the beauty of poker is there's a lot of different ways to play every hand. And the second monster, we already had Kings, which lost. And now we've got Lau, Conrad Lau. We haven't had a chance to talk to him, and his son both played in this tournament.
Okay.
And
Obviously, the father is the better poker player. At least in this event, he was.
I think they're both good poker players.
40,000.
Had a chance to talk to Conrad the other day in one of the other events. Great guy. And playing well. I think he might have cashed in the, don't quote me, I can't look it up right now, but I believe he might have cashed in the 100K event as well.
Okay.
So we earlier this week we had a 100K guaranteed event, and unfortunately for him, he's not going to get any action on these aces.
Like seed 8 raises? All right,
Well, he may have already secured his. He's close. 9th place is going to get $1,146, and his largest live cash is $1,163.
Yep.
So he needs to ladder up one more spot for his largest live tournament cash.
Yep, so Conrad Lau out of Neptune Beach, Florida, not too far. Likes to play no limit tournaments, so
So he's a fisherman.
looks like way, yep. Why wouldn't you be? A lot of lakes, ponds,
They got a lot of
ocean,
water around here.
everything around here. Water everywhere. It's beautiful. Brian Molesky, Judd Greeneagle, MSPT at Best Bet Jacksonville. Having a great time here this week. I got down here.
You've been here a week.
Yeah, you just rolled in Wednesday, and this is where I want to be in January. I tell you like that. As you know, I've been spending more and more time in Florida lately, and I really love it down here. And during my off season, which
Yeah.
is kind of the winter for us.
You were down here with your son at baseball camp.
Yep,
And-
over just south of Tampa. He trains over at the IMG Academy, which is that's about 4 hours from here. The other side, that's the west side of Florida. We are on the northeast side.
Yeah, it's a great room, and it's close to, Orlando. It's close to Daytona.
Yep.
A lot of I tried to get my family to come down after the event and go to Disney for a few days, but
There's a ton of great restaurants in the area here. I've ate at Capitol Grill twice this week. It's so good. That's a free plug for them, by the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, just right down the road. So,
yeah, there is a lot of different places to eat.
yep. A lot of great
Go up.
pubs, taverns,
Nightlife.
great beer.
Looks like this level's going to end here. Blinds are going to go to 10 and 20,000.
10-20.
So
So yeah, and as we suspect, so this is kind of a big jump here. So
We're gonna probably see some action here in this level here.
yeah, once we lose 2-3 players and things level out a little bit, this generally happens in all poker tournaments where everybody holds on to make that final table. Stacks get a little short, and but by the time we get to 4 or 5 handed, it'll even out. And
I don't think you're gonna see as much holding on here to ladder up in this event as we do sometimes in the main events. When the payouts are pretty similar for the next few spots, I believe.
yeah, and of course this weekend coming in tonight is Mo Nawarha, who is the Poker News live reporter. We will have PokerNews.com live reporting all weekend long for the main event, Flight 1A, 1B. Nobody does it better than Poker News.
No, Mo does a great job, and
These final table broadcast of the main event will also be broadcast on PokerNews.com, which is the largest poker media outlet in the world. They get over 100,000 visitors a day. So when we broadcast this on Sunday night on PokerNews.com, it will have thousands and thousands of viewers. So you're going to want to be at that final table, because there's probably going to be a lot of money there too.
there's gonna be a lot of money to be won, and a great trophy actually. People comment all the time how much they love the MSPT trophies.
Yep.
So we'll have that on display.
We've never named the logo, but
I think we call it the
people
Judd.
always ask me. No, we're not calling
Come
it the
on.
Judd.
Send in your tweets if you think that they should call it the Judd. So we got an ace-6 suited and a jack-9 suited.
I love the Jack 9.
I did too. and
You can never miss a flop with Jack 9, so you got to play it.
I missed a lot of them
And get
actually in the
yourself in
cash game a
trouble.
little bit ago. I'll just say that, but I played it every time.
Ooh.
Oh my!
But Lau's got nothing.
7 of hearts would be an action card, I think here.
Yeah.
75?
Even a 5 of hearts.
Yeah. Or
Campana's going to bet, and I think Lau's going to fold here. I don't think he's going to. This
think
isn't a hand that I'd want to play out of position.
no.
Wisely he does. So in this event, it's a $200 buy-in, so we've got 30-minute levels.
In the main event on Sunday, we'll have 1 hour levels.
At the final table.
Final table, yeah.
Yep. I saw Raymer tweeting out he's already playing. He's playing this weekend in the main event, so
He's here playing they had pot limit Omaha 8 or better.
maybe we'll put
this afternoon.
we're going to put some bounties on a few players out there this weekend, and maybe we'll throw one on Raymer. We'll see.
That sounds like easy money, Brian. Let's see. So we've got not a lot out there this time. But we'll see who wants to fight for this one.
Yeah, I'm not expecting a lot of action here, so we're going to say, here's what we got left. We got 9 players. In the 1 seat, Mick Robalato, Fernandina Beach, Florida. In the 2 seat, Johnny Ear, Palm Coast, Florida. In the 3 seat, Bren Barnett, St. Augustine, Florida. In the 4 seat, Sebastian Charles, Jacksonville. In the 5 seat, Britt Campana, Florence, South Carolina. In the 7 seat, Joe DeCharo, Jacksonville, Florida. In the 8 seat, Conrad Lau, Neptune Beach, Florida. In the 9 seat, James Dixon, Jacksonville. In the 10 seat, David Rourke, Jacksonville. It's interesting, I listened to all the like I said, I was listening to 1010XL, the sports station down here, and they talked, oddly enough, about a lot of Jacksonville Jaguars football.
Really? Ouch.
But they have no other sports here.
That's
so
true.
Other than they probably, I would imagine they have some spring training baseball and stuff like that. I have no idea, but Jacksonville football all year round down here, and which is probably a little depressing for them because things have been a little weak lately. They got some hope with Bortles, but
Yeah, they say they got a little hope on the horizon here with the quarterback, I think. And
they just hired a whole new coaching staff this week, and that's what they've been debating about the different hires.
didn't
And
they get a bunch of them from the Raiders?
Yeah, well, they got
That's interesting.
Olsen, who they were. I don't know a lot about him, but they were running. Was it Rick Olsen? I don't.
I'm not
pardon
even
me.
sure.
I know the last name's Olsen, but apparently he was here a couple of years ago, and things didn't go that great while he was here. So
Oh, boy. Well, we've got Charles all in here with the 6'8" offsuit, and if he gets called by the ace-8 or the ace-10, he's in trouble.
and he probably no look jammed with that 6H, which I don't have a problem with.
No, he should be live, but I don't know if Lau will probably call him.
Lau's already all in.
Okay. I think the 6'8's
As you can see, it's he still has a 32% shot here with the 6-8. So any 2 cards.
Oh boy. Well, he's got a straight draw, and Lau's got a flush draw and a straight draw as well.
Ace Heart's not popping up, so
Okay. My fault. Sorry.
so Lau's going to take it. And unfortunately for Charles, that'll be the end of his day.
He's going to go in 8th place for $1,146 it was.
Yep.
Great investment, great return on his investment there for a $200 buy-in. So hopefully we'll see him back in the main. I think he said he was playing. We're down to 8.
Sebastian Charles, Jacksonville, out in 9th place. But heck of a run, man. Congrats. Nice gentleman. Talking to him a little bit there on the break.
What's that? That's okay.
But we'll see. We'll definitely see Charles here in the main event. Look for another big run out of him. We're down to 8. Brian Molesky, Judd Green Eagle here at one of the top card rooms in the country.
Yeah,
Best Bet Jacksonville.
Can't say enough about the floor staff. The dealers are unbelievable. They're great. We're kind of spoiled. We play at Canterbury Park when Brian and I have time to play, and we always say that's one of the best run card rooms in the country.
Yep, and I think I can say, so we generally spend, oftentimes casinos are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's just how they build them. So we spend a lot of time in the middle of nowhere where they just, to be honest, they bust in the senior citizens to hammer the slot machines. And this is very close to downtown Jacksonville. So it's heavily populated in this area, and I think it's fair to say there are a few cute gals.
They're certainly there are.
Working here, very friendly, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why this place is
Busy.
because a little scenery.
Yeah.
We can say that.
We can, well, I'm just agreeing.
I can say that.
I'm agreeing, but We'll see. I want to give a shout out too to another MSPT regular who made a deep run in this event. Busted out just short of the final table, I believe. Mark Hodges.
Oh yeah, bookmark on bookmark 53.
We can't
on
look,
Twitter.
but I think that's what it is.
Yeah, so Mark's also from the Midwest, and he has made a number of deep runs lately, including a 12th and I think he's had a 12th and a 13th, and a huge field out at Venetian, 854 runners, and so he's racked up close to 30K here on the MSPT in just the last couple of months. So
Yeah.
A number of MSPT scores for him in 2014. He starts off 2015 with an MSPT cash. And of course, the 100K and this 50K event that we got going down right here, these will also count towards MSPT Player of the Year points. So these guys are getting a head start on the field.
They're going to get a head start on that home audio prize package.
Yeah, like how I set that up for you.
Absolutely.
Another shout out to one of our other sponsors, PokerJokerGear.com. You see the sign there on the left. You can't see the website. I told them to put it
Told
up
them to
higher.
put the
but that's okay.
thing up high, but you know, training these guys.
There you go. I'm sorry, I can't see.
So we've got a king queen here and an ace 5.
Robalato pops it with ace 5. I like it. Playing aggressive.
And he hit his ace.
And it's not easy for Dixon to fold here. His second, it's very, people don't understand, it's very difficult to flop
Oh
a
boy,
pair,
Dixon went all in.
which I can't blame him for. I mean, he's got the runner, he's got the backdoor flush draw with the second pair, and it's very difficult to flop a pair.
That's a backdoor royal flush draw, Brian.
Yeah, sorry. So and this isn't an easy spot for, I think he'll, well,
I don't know.
this is for almost his entire stack as well. A 5 kicker isn't that exciting. It's hard to flop top pair and fold at this point, though.
I think he's gonna fold.
And he did fold. So that's a huge jam by Dixon there to take down a pot
Wow.
that he was behind in. So
way
good for
behind
him.
at that point.
Nice move.
Wow.
Robalato's going to watch this in a couple of days. So we do record all these events, and the players generally within 48 hours. Depends on our travel schedule and, of course, internet bandwidth at the specific location. But they'll get to come back and watch this later, which is a great learning tool, by the way.
It is.
And
Just don't listen to the audio
Yeah.
for the learning tool.
Yeah, just turn us off and watch the cards. Robalato is going to be a little disappointed he didn't make the call there, but that's certainly a very tough spot to be.
Yeah, he's
With
probably
a 5 kicker, you're not too pumped when a guy jams for almost your entire stack, or
no,
3/4 of your
he's-
stack.
He's behind probably more often than not there. He can't beat
Yeah.
any ace. So I just saw poker room manager Jesse Hollander pop out from behind the sign back there. So again, another shout out to him and his staff.
He's checking it out.
Yep. A lot of players have been checking out the table and looking at it this week, all very interested in it. So
Robalato connects here again, though, and Barnett and Campana each also got a piece of this board.
wow, 3 people in the pot, and they all flop pretty well.
They all want it.
Raise.
So Robalato is going to pop it. I will say, Robalato is probably,
Well, yeah, they had about similar size stacks.
so now, here's what I'm going to say. Like I said earlier, I saw Robalato fold ace king 6-handed with 11 people to go. He just folded top pair. I think these players have a pretty good read that Robalato is probably the tightest player at the table, and he's capable of making big laydowns. And this is 2 hands in a row now where people have blown over him with second pair.
Yeah.
Right, they're not afraid to jam on him anytime they connect on the board. So they've gotten a good feel that he's willing to lay down top pair in almost any instance, even with he's got a 10 big blind stack,
Yeah.
and he's considering folding top pair here. I think he needs to make a couple of adjustments because they're clearly just running over him. They know that he's going to fold a large percentage of the time, even with a big hand.
Well, and after they see this, they're getting updates from their friends. In 30 minutes, they're gonna really take advantage of it. I think he's gonna call it here. I don't know how he can.
You can't. Yeah,
I mean,
flop top
you could
pair
have a
and
flush draw. You could have a straight draw. You could have
yep. Second pair.
a second pair.
Yeah,
But I mean, I agree. It's tough.
10 bigs you got to call, but this is the second hand in a row we've seen people just bully him around with second pair. So he's going to have to loosen up a little bit to make a run at this thing. Now, some would argue that I suck because I can't ever fold.
Yes. Well,
So-
I agree, but I mean, I think
But
if you look at
But we're seeing a trend here,
yes,
right? It's
Absolutely.
clear that we're seeing a trend that these guys aren't afraid to jam on him with second pair, knowing he'll make a big fold.
But if he were to look and see the payouts and see the next few spots are all within
Pretty
a hundred or
similar.
a couple $100 of each other, I believe, or they're close. That I think you have to make the call. You give yourself
And
a
he
shot
does
to
call.
win it.
He does make
Okay.
he makes the correct call. So good.
He
That's
thought
good.
it out, thought through it, made the right call, and hopefully it works out for him. And it did.
We need to get the dealer to slow down a little bit
Yeah.
for
It's good
dramatic
practice
effect.
for the main event here.
The top pair again.
Yeah, you can hear him.
Shut down again.
See now, and I mean that's one more spot too. So Robolato is telling him he folded top pair of the hand before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that
No.
because the rest of the players still in here and be like, okay, he just tanked and almost folded top pair on this hand. He folded top pair of the hand before that. You don't want to give them that kind of information, and it looks like they're already aware of that because they're jamming on him with second pair almost every hand now. So I think he'll not want to share that information potentially going forward. I wouldn't be. I don't want them to know that I'm laying down top pair. That can be a disastrous long-term effect.
Yeah, there's no sense in giving that information out at the poker
Nope.
table.
But in this instance, he makes the correct call, so he's going to double up. He's got the Kermit the Frog shirt with headphones. I like it. We'll give him best dressed at the final table.
Yeah, he looks like he's in worse shape than you.
I know.
He's excited and scared all
I mean, I don't see 5-4 as the hand you're trying to win. Ever. Ace 9 or ace tray of diamonds. The only two hands I think.
It'll be interesting to see now. So now Robolato,
He's gonna be really short.
well, and he sees now.
Oh,
No, not
No.
Robolato. He's got chips now,
Yeah.
but he sees now that guys are jamming on him with 5-4. He got to see that hand, so we'll see if he now makes the adjustment to loosen up his range a little bit with some of these guys making aggressive moves.
Oh, okay. And Barnett now
And
has
Rob-
the 5-4 again and 33,000 on the button.
Yeah, he's in no matter what. Robolato's going to get in on this one, so he's going to have a chance to eliminate Barnett here. Oh, did he just fold that hand?
Wow.
Huh. Okay, so Robolato folds
Oh.
ace-jack,
So he's not loosening up.
which I would never do eight-handed, but that's okay. To each his own.
He's at the final table, and we're in the sequestered room. So,
So it's going to be DeCero and Campana.
C5 bet 30.
the Chero's pretty much got a stranglehold on this hand unless Campana, Campana bets and he wins.
Aggression wins. And of course, these chip counts are unofficial. We do get their chip counts when we start the final table, and they are updated with the betting throughout. But they are unofficial, so if there is an all-in and a call, we do count the chips, of course. Barnett there is only 33K. I can't really imagine any two cards that I wouldn't have played in the last instance with 3K ante. And I think, what do you have, 5-4, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely a hand I would have played because they're likely live in any scenario.
I
With
agree.
with that with less than two bigs there, you have to take a shot at that. Unfortunately, it's not ideal, but you can't just keep dumping off 3K. You know, now
10%
each
10% of your stack every.
each hand costs him 3K, and now if he does double up, he's got less to double up with.
Yeah.
C2 raise.
Now,
48.
three other people might get all in on the big stack win, and he ladders up 2 spots, and we will not look like geniuses.
Correct.
But I agree. He is on the button, I think, this time, or close to it. Let me see.
Okay.
Oh,
Put
he's
him up, please.
So
He's
Johnny
all in.
here, we're gonna see a little bit of Johnny here. He's got Queen Jack.
Barnett got his money in good.
Kind of.
60, well,
Now he's looking real
Now
good.
he's looking better there. Now he's, well, 10 would
Gotta build
hurt him.
drama. There's a 10. No, it's not a 10.
All right.
That'll do it.
So
So
he's gonna
Barnett's
double up.
a genius. He quadruples up.
Oh, yeah.
Are they giving him that whole thing? Let's see what he gets. There you see it, 12K up top. Lines at 10-20, 311 players, down to 8.
Levels aren't that long.
Best bet, Jacksonville. DeChero is still your chip leader. Barnett up to 114K, so basically a quadruple up. Gotta like that.
Yeah,
Now
you
he's
got
got a shot. He still has only 5 bigs, but 6 bigs, but
I think you can get a guy to
it's
fold
much
with
better
that stack.
than 1.5 bigs. It's a little chilly back here.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I'm like,
I'm pretty well insulated, and I'm cold.
We might have to cuddle here
Yeah,
pretty soon.
well, yeah, we might.
I did watch Empire Strikes Back, where he cut open the animal to
Crawl in.
crawl in for warmth.
What are you saying?
one of us is in trouble.
I'm gonna go down with a fight. If you hear a lot of noise in here or something, one of us, we got cold.
Yeah.
So if you're in the area, they do have a big 20-seat guaranteed qualifier for this weekend's main event running tonight.
Yeah, it starts in is that clock up today? I don't know. I don't have my phone. 7 p.m. anyways.
It starts at 7 p.m. Here in Jacksonville. I'm guessing you can probably register till about 8:30.
It's got to be 5:48
Yeah, I think
Eastern
it's-
time right now, so it's a little over an hour away. 20 seats guaranteed.
Wow.
There's got to be an overlay on that thing, I would think. That's a
I
lot
would
of
think
seats.
so.
Especially considering that almost everybody has been housing seats here all week.
Yeah, they've
because,
been giving them away. They've been high hands, and I believe they have a high hand promotion too.
promotions here are unbelievable. They're awesome.
It's great. If I lived here, I would be here every day.
Yep.
Well, I say that, but probably wouldn't be here every day.
Raise 50,000.
But I would try to be here
Pretty
every
much
day.
every day.
Yeah.
Still love that running.
Not a lot happening here. We're gonna have Lyle's gonna raise up the queen 3 of diamonds,
That's one of the thinnest.
and Rourke folds the 4-6 offsuit.
Low chips up.
Makes a 1 outer.
Little over 9 minutes left in level 21 here at
Then we
Jacksonville.
get a break, it
Best
looks
Bet.
like. We'll go get some blankets on break.
Exactly. I may have to start drinking coffee.
Oh, now you're talking.
You know, I've had
Good
about 2
thinking.
cups in the last year total.
I've had 2 cups today. But this is the fun part about watching these final tables. You can see there's not a lot of big hands that go out, is there?
No, there's a lot of 2 5s, 9 deuces,
You
5
get to see
jacks.
everybody's cards, and there's not a lot of monsters. So don't be afraid to pop it with garbage from time to time.
That's my motto.
Yep.
Call.
I'm gonna check.
Check. Heads up.
Looks like we're gonna see a flop, and
Oh, boy.
this just got ugly.
So it looks like
Rourke
it's
is in
been
trouble. Rourke's in big trouble. Sometimes you can see the train wreck coming, unfortunately, in this scenario.
If
David,
Rourke can somehow get away from this,
if he still has chips left, he deserves a medal.
he deserves to be Mr. Rourke on
Yeah.
Fantasy Island, I believe.
So he bets Robolato's gonna.
He's going to raise, I would think.
Yep.
He may just call, but oh no, he's going.
Yeah.
He probably wants to end the
That
hand
looked
right
like
now.
a big raise. I
Big.
can't see the chips, but I would have raised to about 70 to 75.
That's kind of what I thought.
Let's see what he
to
pumped.
make
Yeah,
him
he made it
feel weak.
180.
Oofta.
That's a huge, and well,
Rourke's all
it
in,
worked.
and Robolato calls, and they're both like, "You play that junk,"
And Rourke and Robolato is going to suddenly be your chip leader.
unless he somehow hits a miracle 6.
Rourke needs there's one out, 6 of clubs. He didn't
Did
get there.
Not get there.
That's a tough break for Rourke. I think we're all going to get it in that spot. Flop 2 pair. And unofficially, Robolato has eliminated Rourke.
And I will believe that Robolato will have the chip lead.
Yes.
Blind versus blind.
Yep, that right there I would call a bad beat
Yep.
cooler after the flop.
Yeah, that's a cooler right there.
You can't flop
So
any
they will
better
count.
with the
They will
6-1.
count it out. Our counts unofficially have Robolato. So Robolato, who
It's played fairly tight here at the final table,
yeah,
as we've said.
but he's picked up some spots and now has the first player to clear $1 million.
Wow.
So unfortunately for David Rourke, his 2-pair no good, and he will be eliminated in 8th place. We are down to 7.
Congratulations, Mr. Rourke.
Heck of a run.
Great run.
Unfortunate ending, but heck of a run. So
$1,345. I'm sure we'll
Rourke
see him
out
this
of
weekend.
Jacksonville. Robolato, Fernandina Beach, Florida, is now your new chip leader, 1.3 million. And now I'm anxious to see if he takes that chip lead and starts to apply pressure to some of these medium stacks.
Yeah, there's some 10 big blind stacks. And
Yeah, so which obviously what the goal is when you're chip leader is you'd actually prefer those small stacks to stick around so you can apply pressure to the middle stacks that don't want to be the next player to bust.
player out, exactly.
So that's, in theory, the approach that I would take. I would pick on the middle stacks and try to play them in position and just abuse them a little bit. See right there, Robolato folded. I would have popped it with that chip stack when it folded to me in the small blind. I think that's an opportunity to pick up some free chips because he's going to have a big hand
Big
and want
hand
to
to
battle
play.
with a massive chip leader. So right now, I would go if I'm Robolato.
I'd
I'm
be
picking
playing
on
every pot.
I'm picking on second, third, and fourth place guys right now in chips.
Now, what does it have down there? I'm trying to read it from across the table here. Robolato's occupation.
I don't know.
I just didn't. I'd never seen that written before. I don't know
Nope,
what it is.
I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to say it.
It's probably something that we know and we just haven't.
Raise.
So we've got a couple pocket pairs here. Dixon with pocket 7s, Ear with pocket 3s. Both are fairly short stack, and Robolato with a ace-9 offsuit. There could be some fireworks here.
So Dixon raises. If I'm Robolato, I pop it here again with ace-9. But he and I clearly play very differently. He's going to fold. Johnny's in a spot here where you either you can't call anything with that stack.
No.
You either
You fold or jam.
you fold or jam. It's not ideal to jam threes, but that's
like
the
he
play.
might have.
I think he jammed his threes, which I don't have. Oh, he just called.
He just called.
Yeah, see, I don't feel comfortable calling with that stack there, playing out of position. You just basically all you can hit is a 3. You're
Yeah.
looking for 2 outs. I just think that's a waste of 36K in chips. Dixon needs to c-bet here.
Well, now Johnny's picked up some outs.
Yeah, Dixon needed a fire again there. He had second pair, which is a great hand, heads up, 7-handed. So Dixon had a chance to take that pot down. It's a 183K pot now. Dixon could have already been stacking his chips. And now he's got to contemplate whether to move forward, and it's a very tough spot to be. Because if you call here, what do you do on the
Well,
river?
that's just it. I think
You have no idea what that guy has at this point.
does he have a king? Does he have like ace-5?
And so, miraculously, Johnny Ear somehow wins with 3s, playing out of position, making that call for 36K. Not real impressed with how that hand was played out in either instance, but nonetheless, Johnny Ear takes it down.
And he moves up quite a bit.
Yep.
Is Nora here today? She's not here.
I think she's on vacation.
We may see some action here. You got Barnett on a short stack in the small blind with 2 Broadway cards, the King Jack, and Lau, it's under the gun +1 with the King Queen, and in the cutoff,
Robolato picking up another hand. I'd like to see him start applying pressure to these guys because these are good hands. Ace nine of spades is a good hand, seven-handed. Clearly, you have to loosen up your range when you're playing short-handed poker. You know, you're not full ring, which is 10-handed. You got to loosen up your range, and so Robalato pops it, which is I like that.
I think Barnett's going to go all in.
Barnett jams. That's okay. Robalato has to call here. It's only 76K. That's no problem. So.
Well, you raise it to 50. He's only 26 to call.
Yep. So that all makes sense to me, and we're going to see if Barnett can click or if Robalato's going to have another bounty.
Now, we saw this scenario earlier.
Oh,
in
that's
the Jack King one. That's interesting.
That's a massive flop for Robalato, and that'll do it. That locks it up. So we're going to lose Barnett here, and he's got a jam there with that King Jack.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, and.
Great run there for
Bren Barnett out of St. Augustine, Florida. So heck of a run.
beautiful area over there.
Yeah, congratulations. And Robalato continues to chip up.
Knocking people out left
It's
and
got to
right.
be up over 1.5 now, right in that range. Nice little heater. There you see the aggression frequency. It's pretty rare that you don't see the chip leader as the most aggressive
He
player.
had 0, is that correct?
No, he was at 29. So,
Okay.
but he's had some hands here lately. So and he's picks up another ace. I think anytime you get an ace now, and you're Robalato, you're popping it.
Yeah.
Put a lot of pressure on these guys. He's got a nice chip lead at this point. He's almost got DeCero, who's second in chips, 2-1.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got almost 2-1 chip lead over second place.
Yep.
He may have, I don't know how many chips
I'm
are in
min.
play
So
here.
if I'm Robalato, I'm min raising almost every pot.
Yeah.
I mean, not every pot, but you know, a fair amount of the pots. And I actually like what Campana's been able to do. He's actually picked up. He's had garbage to play thus far. He hasn't had any
No, he
hands.
has 0 hands.
And but he's managed to pick up a couple of pots by being a little bit of aggressive with crap. He's got King 7 here, and I'd be really impressed if he can take this pot down. He's managed to do that a couple of times. That's an ugly turn, but he's going to fire, it looks like.
And Dixon's got the spade draw. He probably will.
Spade, and he's got the 10 for the gut shot, but
Yeah.
and look at Campana keeps it light here.
Yeah.
35K in the turn. I really like the way he's been playing.
Call 35.
Dixon's going to call. It'll be interesting to see if Campana can find another bullet on the river to take this down.
Well, Dixon's got the best hand if it goes to
Yeah,
showdown
Campana
somehow.
fires. Good for him.
That should win it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does. See, he had nothing there the entire time, fired, and took down a nice pot. So I've really been impressed with the way Campana's
Absolutely.
been playing. So we got 13 and change left on break.
Come back with 6 players in event number 6 at the MSPT Poker Series here in Best Bet Jacksonville.
We can't check text messages, right?
Said they'll take your
Big
phone.
line, please. 24. They'll take all our phones. So don't do it.
We're back. Brian Molesky, Judd Green Eagle, Mid-States Poker Tour at Best Bet Jacksonville, Florida, obviously. We started with 311 runners. We are down to 6. I now have coffee, so you're going to get the best of me for the next couple hours here.
That coffee's going to wear off very fast, I'm afraid. It's probably 20 degrees colder in this room than it is in the card casino or outside.
I wish they'd make the entire card room this temperature so I could sell a lot of sweatshirts.
Yes.
I'd jack up the price. It'd be $100 a pop.
They should have a retractable roof on this place,
Yeah, 'cause
actually.
the
It's so
weather's
nice.
so nice.
Yeah.
I know. That's about it, too. All right, so we got in the 1 seed, we got our chip leader, Mick Robalato, Fernandina Beach, Florida. He went on a run that last level.
It was a great level for him.
He ran it up. He is now our chip leader. In the 2 seat,
Johnny Ear.
Johnny Ear, Palm Coast, Florida. In the 3 seat, Britt Campana. And we've been really impressed with his play. he's made the most out of nothing, for the
yeah.
most part.
He's
so
been
far, so.
aggressive when he's in pots, and it's earned him a few pots.
And he hasn't had a lot to work with, and he's made the most of it. He's actually been able to pick up some chips, or at least maintain
Yeah.
his stack, considering the lack of cards he's received so far. So I certainly think he's got a good shot if he can chip up a little bit to
Take this down.
to compete for the title.
DeCharo, Joe DeCharo.
Joe DeCharo, who out of the 7th seat, Jacksonville, Florida, and Conrad Lau in the 8th seat, Neptune Beach, Florida. I wish I lived in a city that ended in beach.
Or I actually wish I lived in a city that started in Neptune. A lot of people that know me probably think I came from there, but
In the retired guy, in the 9th seat, James Dixon, Jacksonville, Florida. So we've had a good final table so far, action-packed. As we predicted, they like to play poker here in Florida, and
get it in, you get a pair. They know that it's hard to make a pair here.
yep, if you want action and you want a fun time, come to Florida, because every pot is something exciting. There's not a lot of boring pots in Florida.
No, there isn't. Cash game I was in, 4 people left in one hand, so we played shorthanded for a while, and I think the game tightened up, actually.
Yeah, I noticed it's very difficult to get people to fold pre-flop
Yes.
in Florida. So here we go.
It's not a bad thing.
That is definitely not a bad thing. That's a great thing. If you're a poker player, that's what you're looking for, right?
Yes.
Call.
So Dixon's in the small blind here, and he's having a bad
He's gonna-
spot. He's a short
it's gonna
stack,
look-
and he's got a huge chip leader that's right on his left.
I'm surprised he didn't jam. They look down at an ace and you don't jam with that stack. That surprises me. I don't know if he's maybe
Well-
trying to be a little sneaky or what, but
Is all in and seat 9. Take it down.
yeah.
Robolato didn't even think folding that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I call every time there, and I'll tell you why. And Robolato, for the record, made the correct decision.
He did.
And he didn't even think about it.
I would think that the small blind would have raised with an ace or a
Yeah,
jam.
that's
That's the way I was thinking,
yeah.
and I'm sure what you were thinking.
Yeah,
Brian.
if I flop a king there,
Small and big.
I'm assuming that the small blind with that stack does not have an ace in his hand, because he did not raise or jam pre-flop, and I'm calling with a king there every time. He would have had Dixon would have doubled up off me if I were Robolato, but
Yeah.
Robolato gets away from it. So well played. Nice, congrats to him for being able to sniff that out and get away from it.
So we got Lau with an ace jack here.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get a lot of resistance.
Raise announced in an 8. $60,000. Seat 8 raises.
And DeCharo, he got here as the chip leader. He hasn't had a lot to work with here lately.
Not at all. He's
Been pretty quiet,
yeah.
but that's okay. He's laying low. I think he's still second in chips, right? We'll find out here in a second. Certainly well in the hunt here, but that's
four?
the
Oh,
showdown. Went to
that's
showdown. Certainly not the chip counts there that we were anticipating to pop up.
no.
12K, 24K are your blinds, 4K ante. So we're starting to get up there.
Yeah, blind. Will be some action here, I think. In the
And,
next
and as you
level.
can see, and this is what we talked about earlier, look at those hands, right? There's not much out there. When you're playing 5-6 handed, that's why aggression rules, because nobody really, it's very difficult to pick up a hand.
pick up a hand, and especially when the overwhelming chip leader has shown to be somewhat passive.
Yeah,
These
see-
mid stacks and short stacks should be.
Is he going to pop it here? I like it.
Yeah,
So
there we go.
very nice. So Robolato making a little adjustment here. He pops it on the button with 4-6. I love it. I think that's the right play.
Takes it down.
And Campana folds, and see Robolato's going to pick up some free chips there with a little aggression. So well played on that hand. Very nice. I'd like to see him do that a little more often. See, and what I like to do is just min raise, right? So I min raise in position almost all the time with a chip lead. If you get repopped,
You can
you just fold. You lose the minimum, but you only have to be successful 1 out of every 2 times
Exactly.
to maintain that same chip stack, right? So that's how that works. I I'd like to see him continue to apply some pressure to some of these guys like he just did there. Let's see if he picks it up a little bit. And again, we just came off a break, so it's hard to say if any of these players talked to people on breaks. They may have, they may have people watching. They may not. It's hard to say. So you might see just like halftime adjustment right in a football game.
Exactly.
You might see these guys say, "Hey, I need to," or it's possible Robolato even had the intent to play tight for the first 5.
I was going to bring that up, actually.
And that's actually a strategy that I've done very often at a final table is I'll play tight till it's 5-6 handed, and then I just start going for it, right?
Yep.
And then I start going for the win because that's when the money's on the line, and that's when you want to start chipping up and making a run at it. So some players certainly have that strategy as well. Now they've already made some money, so go for broke.
Go for broke now.
Right? So it's hard to know exactly what their thought process is, but that very well could be.
Top prize is about $12,000 in this tournament. $11,956.
The buy-in was $200. There you go. Robolato up top.
Double
Charo hanging.
1 chip lead.
Yeah, he's still got number 2 in chips. Dick's in the shortest stack with 10 bigs. We are at Best Bet Jacksonville, one of the top card rooms in the country. Number 1 in Florida.
Probably going to be number 1 in my heart when we leave here.
I know.
think.
It's hard to leave, man.
It's unbelievable. The players are great. The players are fun in the tournament. The players in the cash game were all friendly.
It's a pretty quick flight too. It was so
A
you
little
and
over
I.
2 hours.
Yeah, you and I come from well north, and it took us I think 2 hours and 20 minutes. Pretty smooth sailing to get to Jacksonville, right into a beautiful airport, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice airport. Don't have to take trams all over the place.
No, you can
It's
get out,
great.
walk to pick up your luggage, and
Yeah.
walk right outside.
It's really quick to get through, and it's only 20 minutes here from the card room. So
A lot of clubs out here on this hand.
I thought for a second you were talking about the nightlife.
What a nightlife guy I am. Like to hang out with Matt Alexander quite often.
Oh,
And
jeez.
172.
Good luck with that.
good luck
I'd be
with-
dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Alexander's one of our favorites. Character.
He is. If you go back and listen to the archived live stream from Canterbury Park.
Oh, by the way, I got a present for you.
Excellent. I love presents.
It's in the Tahoe.
Okay. I'll have
It's in
to.
I got a present for you.
I'm a little concerned. I did see a Victoria's Secret bag in there. I think Dylan stopped there, so I'm hoping it's not that.
Oh, that makes it worse that you said Dylan.
Yeah, it's true.
By the way, for those that Dylan is our driver.
Our transport engineer.
Yeah, transport engineer. So he gets the gear from one stop to the next, and then also is generously drives us around.
Drives us around.
When on site, and
Exactly.
he's a fantastic kid, a young kid.
Yeah, 20
20 something, but he played college football, and he is 6'7", 360. He's a beast.
Yeah.
And so when he's rolling through Victoria's Secret, yeah, and he did. I think he did mention he stopped by to pick up his gal some stuff or something.
Okay.
Pajamas, probably.
Hopefully she's not. I'm slippers.
Oh
is what
yeah,
I would say.
I doubt she's listening.
Yeah, that's true. Another shout out tomorrow. I know that Jim Boone from Minnesota's arriving.
Oh, Boone's.
Jim Boone.
Well,
Lopper,
Jim Boone
68
is.
or something.
Yeah, he's more Iowa fame for
Yeah.
hitting. He keeps a lot of those Iowa casinos in business.
Yeah, Jim is a craps expert and
I shouldn't say he keeps them in business. I should say he probably works them over more so than
he does, I think.
keeps them in business. But they've got some good craps games in Iowa, and that's where he likes to go to spend a little time because he's good at it.
He really started coming to a lot of tour stops last year.
Yep.
And
He
had some
doesn't
good
miss many
success.
now.
No,
Yeah.
and it's great.
Good poker player too.
Excited to see Jim tomorrow.
Yep.
And I think another one arriving tonight is Mike Rossi from Chicago.
From
fame.
Chicago. Yep.
Mike is a Midwest legend.
Yep.
And he's coming down with a couple other guys from Chicago, so I'll be excited to see him.
And I think maybe even Eric Crane rolling in from Ohio tomorrow.
Yep. A
So,
lot
I
of
know
people
we,
coming in. We got Greg Raymer here today. I'm here. You're here. This is probably the place to be. I know there's another big event going on up in the Northeast that there's some players at.
There's events everywhere.
There is. Well,
Nowadays.
boy, Well, we've got a,
Well, we're not going to see much here because Dixon's going to get away from this unless he just
he's going to
tries to bully his way into this with his stack because he has to act first.
which he has jammed a couple times with air, and Robolato folded. So there you go.
There you go.
5,000.
And he's betting 75 of his 178 stack. That's bad news.
Now Robolato should just call.
Have a raise.
Yes, I agree.
He doesn't.
I would have just called and hoped that Dixon fired into the turn.
475,000.
And Dixon probably thinks, well, if I call it off here, I'm,
And if you're Dixon,
you know.
there's one of my favorite servers there in the back row.
Way to be clear.
Trying to wreck the game.
Holly Berry.
Talking against the
I was wondering where she was now. I hadn't seen her in any movies lately.
She's bartending and
Excellent.
serving here at Best Bet Jacksonville.
Seems like a step up from making those movies and winning Academy Awards.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Fold.
If Dixon thinks he's got 2 overs, he folds.
Man.
That's tough.
So Robolato. I like a call there better and just hope that he fires into the turn.
Yeah.
But he's going to take down another pot, and he's going to be up somewhere on 1.6.
Six, probably.
He's cruising,
Yeah, he is.
cruising along.
All right, well, the rich get richer that hand. Robolato with picked up a nice little pot from Dixon.
Dixon's still alive, though, to his credit.
He is. He's going to probably get it in here.
He doesn't have a lot of chips, but the fact that he was able to get away from that and still be standing is a good thing.
I think Ear's going to call him with the 10 jack. It always looks pretty.
Total bet is 90.
Yeah, and Johnny likes to play pots, but 75K is a pretty substantial portion of his 315K stack. It'll be interesting to see.
No way he's going to fold here.
I'm not sure that I do call here, to be honest with you. I might pick a better spot. I'd rather I hate calling off my stack when I don't have a lot. I would sit here like him too and try to find a way to call. Like you want to try to price yourself in somehow.
I mean, it's 25% of his stack.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah, but it's 3 more bigs to call. He's already got 1 out there. If he min raised, would he call? Yeah.
I don't hate a fold. I don't mind it at all.
You're probably not ahead, but that hand flops good. I've heard.
I mean, Dixon has shown, even though he's got nothing left there, but he does have a tight reputation.
Well, he jammed a second pair with the 5-4, and he calls.
But pretty much 10 jack here, almost.
I mean, he's not in bad shape. Knock a player
So
out.
he does call. So
And Dixon's in about as good a shape as he could be in.
so there's 3 10s and 2 jacks left in the deck. Johnny Ear needs one of them. He doesn't get there. So Dixon, patience paying off. He's going to double up. 234K.
Yeah. He's
10,
an
11 back up
alligator
to-
here.
yeah,
He's
up
the
to 10, 11
Jacksonville
bigs now.
alligator. Just hanging around again.
So now at this final table, they are allowed to chop. So generally, the MSPT main event, they cannot chop. We do play it out till there's a winner. But in all the prelim events, chops are allowed. So if they at any point in time decide that they want to work a deal, Robolato's running like God right now. If I'm him, I keep going a couple more players anyways before
If
I
they want to
start.
do a deal, I'd say pay me first place and we can go home early.
Yeah, so before I would consider too much because he's got such a he's got 2-1 on second place. So
Yeah,
I would imagine he's going to want to get down at least another player or two before it's anything that he thinks about. But if you always listen,
Yeah.
right?
Sit and listen
I'll
and
always
take it in.
make me an offer.
Yep. Because you never know. I've seen some deals before where people walked away with more than first place money.
I have seen that as well. I declined a chop the other day in one of the side events.
Okay.
We had 7 players to go. They offered me third place money. I'm sorry, there was 8 players to go. They offered me third place money for first place because I was chip leader by a substantial margin.
Okay.
And I said no.
What was the difference between third and first?
Well, $4,000.
Lay it out.
Yeah. So I said, well, let's wait another player or two, and then I would talk. And I ended up busting 6th.
Perfect.
Cha-ching. So I lost on that deal, but that's the risk that you take.
You want that trophy.
Yeah, that's what I did want. Well, I would have gotten the trophy with the chop, but
Yeah, no.
I kind of wanted to earn it too.
Exactly.
But I couldn't get any of them out because it was a very, very tight final table.
Okay.
So they just all kept holding on and holding on. I couldn't eliminate any of them. You know, I wasn't really doubling any of them up. I just couldn't get them to bet. I couldn't get them in any of their chips in the pot. And so then after a longer period of time, the blinds just get so high that everybody, the average big blind was 15 bigs it finally got to that point because they all held on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That unfortunately the tournament, all my edge was gone. So
Sounds like it was a great event, though.
it was a great tournament. They run a great show down here. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great people. Brian Molesky, Judd Green Ale, MSPT at Best Bet Jacksonville.
If you get a chance to, if you haven't been in the room, check out, they've got a wall of fame, which is actually pretty cool.
I did not see my photo up there yet.
Yeah, I
I'm
expect
not
to
sure
see
why.
mine at some point.
Yeah. Doc,
Doc,
who's
player.
a local doctor. He comes in here and eat lunch every day.
Talk to
I think he
him.
won a WPT event here. Must have been over the last couple of years, but his photo's up on the wall over there. Of course, Greg Merson.
Greg Merson, I saw up there. Jerry Yang.
Yeah, actually, Jason Mercier is up there as well.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
Jerry Yang. Yep.
62,000.
Lots of photos up there.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll add the winner of the inaugural MSPT there.
Right. Now you're talking. 311 down to 6. All guaranteed, just shy of $2,000, just shy of $1,900 for a $200 buy-in event.
It's a great return.
Robolato, cleaning house. DeCharo hanging up in there. He's actually chipped up.
He's picked up some chips here. I think he came back from break with about 500.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a lot to work with. So Campana and DeCharo, I think, are going to be big factors here. They've managed to maintain their stacks without a lot to work with.
Campana's got a nice demeanor at the table.
And
He
of
just
course, he's
sits there
got the
calm,
Best Bet sweatshirt on.
Yep, paying attention to everything going on. It looks like. And,
Johnny's hiding out over there in the hood.
yep. Do you wear a hood, Brian, when you play?
I wear a hoodie, yes, but never the hood.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was interesting. The only Robolato there in the one seat was the only person that complained when we started about he wasn't too happy that we were going to show the hole cards. So I thought that was kind of interesting because generally people are excited to play
They
on the
are,
final
and they
table.
want to see everybody else's cards and watch.
Yeah,
the
and it's
replay.
there's really no harm done when we do this because they're really not getting that much information even at a later.
exactly.
you know,
'Cause you're
15,
not
30
going to have the
minutes later.
same setup ever again.
Almost all the time we run on a 15-minute delay. In Florida, it's 30. Florida and Nevada, it's 30, but everywhere else we operate on 15 minutes, and so it's never really impacted the game too much at all.
And there's not a difference. I don't mean for the quality of the broadcast. Obviously, 15 and 30 doesn't matter to us.
Right. Other than our interaction with the fans who are tweeting at us typically, when we can answer their questions or interact with them 15 minutes
Give them a shout out
it's a
for
lot,
listening.
obviously much better than 30, but yeah, so he wasn't too thrilled about it, so I find that kind of interesting. And the way that he's steamrolling this table, I guess he just doesn't want anyone else to
Exactly.
see how it's done.
Yeah, it worked out for him. It is working out for him at this point. So we've got a Jack Queen out there and an Ace Deuce. Are probably the only ones that might get in the pot.
Yeah, and Campana actually folded that. He seems to play his position very well.
Yeah.
Because when I see Ace Deuce and Campana, I think he might actually take a shot to try to win a pot here. But being out of position the way he was, he decides to fold it, and that's good poker. I think had clearly he been in a better position, he would have probably taken a stab at that pot. There you see it. Dixon and Johnny Ear. Johnny Ear's been a little quiet lately.
Charo and Robolato are kind of pulling away from the pack here. Robolato's got a more than a 2-1 lead on the third place guy.
Yep. In a fancy green shirt.
With Kermit the Frog.
Once again, get out to msptpoker.com. msptpoker.com. It's got, 20 plus events that we've got rolling this year in 11 or 12 states. I lose
All
track.
Guaranteed prize pools.
Guaranteed prize pools anywhere from generally 200,000 to 300,000 guaranteed prize pools. But to be honest with you, we are
Haven't sweated it for a while.
no, we are crushing it. We're generally between 400,000 to 500,000, or upwards of $500,000 prize pools now on a regular basis, which is pretty exciting. I mean, I would anticipate this one this weekend will hopefully be up in that 400 range. We'll see how it goes. We've already
Getting close to the
160,
200 already.
170 seats awarded, so we'll see. And you're good for 4 bullets,
Exactly. I'll fire as long as I have to. And that is the neat thing about the MSPT. You can re-enter each flight, but you can only re-enter once.
Yeah, so we compromise a little bit in the MSPT main event. It's a max of 1 re-entry per flight. So we certainly want to be accommodating because we have a lot of players that travel a long distance to come in to play the MSPT. So we don't want them to take a beat in level 1 and then be shut out.
Shut out for the rest of the weekend.
But we also don't want this tour really was designed for your average Joe with daytime jobs for the most part. I mean, and so we don't want somebody to come in here and be able to fire 10 bullets and buy their way to a win.
Yep.
So it's a max of 1 re-entry per flight. So if you play day 1A, you can re-enter 1 time. And then if you bust out on that bullet, then you have to come back for 1B. And again, you're allowed a max of 1 re-entry. And we've really actually taken a lot of praise nationally for our approach because there's a lot of pressure to keep building numbers.
Yeah,
right?
Prize pools, but
yeah, so like all these casinos, all these, everybody feels like it has to just keep going up and up and up and up and up. Or if you don't go up, then you failed. And so there certainly is a lot of pressure on us to keep driving those numbers, and we have so far without compromising, in my opinion, the integrity of the tournament. So
well, I think that by limiting it actually creates the numbers each year to go up.
because we're not driving players away,
We're not driving away.
and we're not breaking them.
The guy doesn't come in and say, "Oh, he fired 10 bullets at this thing. I can't keep up with that. Why fire 1?"
Right.
And they have money to come back with.
Correct.
Because obviously a small percentage of players get paid.
Yeah.
Each time, and it's hard to win a poker tournament. So
Yeah. Nobody's coming here and losing 10 to 15K.
no,
We don't allow them to do that.
No.
So they generally don't have a terrible experience.
exactly.
Like if I go somewhere and dump 10 to 15K, I'm probably not going back because I don't feel that good about it. But
Yeah, it stings a little.
We minimize the damage a little bit, which is great. And so I think you nailed it. I think that's why people keep coming back time and time again, because everybody feels like they have a shot to win one.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I know we have taken a lot of good press, like on Poker News and stuff like that, for taking that approach, because not many do nowadays. Everybody's kind of unlimited re-entry.
Unlimited re-entry, and
We'll take your money no matter how we can get it, and
with our guaranteed prize pools, it could be a risk for the tour,
sure,
but we'd rather have the guy come back and play
many times.
play a bunch of times. Kind of the McDonald's theory. You can come back and enter a small amount a whole bunch of times, but we want you here for the long run. So I'm gonna, Brian, I got a question for you. What do you think the line is that we'll see a tour regular Bill Romer roll in tomorrow?
Ooh, that is.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
There'd be a glitch in the matrix if he did not show up.
He did not show up. That
Bill
would
Romer
be.
out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Does not miss any events.
Jeez, he sure doesn't.
But see, he drives only, so
That's
it's
true.
a long drive from Iowa. I hope to see him, man.
I
The
do
guy-
too.
the guy's
He's a
boss.
character. He is
Yeah.
something else.
One of my favorites. Wild Bill Romer.
Wild Bill.
I like your Matt Kirby nickname.
He did the Paul Bunyan of poker.
The
I
Paul
called him
Bunyan.
that as I I gave him that name. We were at the same table at a MSPT event, I believe, at Running Aces.
Yeah.
And I sat down. I go, oh boy, we got the Paul Bunyan poker, and then I proceeded to one-out him with my underpair to his overpair to knock him out like the very next hand.
Yeah.
He was grumpy.
Of course, Matt Kirby's from Bemidji, which if you've seen the TV show Fargo,
Yeah.
that's
A lot of filmed up there, I think. Some of
yeah,
it.
that's what that show is based out of Bemidji, and Paul Bunyan is
A large fictional character
the
from
Blue-
Minnesota, and Babe the Blue Ox.
yeah from that area. So of course the name is fitting. But
They have a large statue of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox right in the center of downtown Bemidji,
Yep.
on the shores of Lake Bemidji. I think I mentioned that Matt was chopping chip stacks left and right, like Paul Bunyan chopped trees. I even got him to smirk, I think, when I said that.
it's not easy to do.
No, you couldn't tell from the beard, but
And so Dixon's going to jam here. He's getting it in.
yeah, he's pretty short. And
Get a pocket pair at this stage, of course. That's a great hand, and we'll see. Lau's got a little decision to make, but I think he'll fold. If I had Robolato's stack,
I'd
I would
call.
probably call with ace-9, but
he's got
it's
what are
a much,
blinds, 12
much
and 24.
it's a much more difficult decision for Lau. I guess I wouldn't blame him either way here. I think I'd be right on the fence.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's
And, yeah, he does
he
call.
does call.
So certainly,
Got 2 overs.
which is about your best case scenario if you're
Yeah.
calling in that spot.
Either that or you're probably dominated.
I like that flop.
Well,
So
that's
Dick-
an interesting flop.
Yeah, Dixon needs to fade an ace, 8, or a 9.
Turn card isn't so great.
Oh boy, or a 10.
So Dixon now has a boat. So now it's yeah, still ace, 8. 8 would be a chop, right?
Oh yep. Well, there you go. He doubles up.
He's a survivor.
He is.
Um,
I'm sure his son's out there cheering him on. He said that him and his son played, right?
Yep. So Lau will. No, that's Lau.
Lau, okay.
Yep, that's Conrad Lau. I think there's a few Conrad Laus actually. I think his son, I think, is the third. So I think
Okay.
this Conrad Lau is junior, or the second, and his kid is the third. So
Wow.
there you see it.
All right.
311 runners. We're down to 6.
Blinds in a minute are going to go up to 15 and 30,000 with a 5K ante.
There's the aggression frequency, and you can see Robolato's had a lot of hands, and he's up top there. But for the most part, nobody's really pulling away from the pack too much in the aggression frequency statistic. A lot of cash games running out there in that poker room right now.
Yeah, there is. That
so
bad
if
beat
even-
jackpot is over $200,000.
Yep. And plus the high hand promotions that they run on a regular basis, there's a lot of benefits to. So how'd your cash game section go? You said you lost what, 40, 60
I
bucks?
lost a little bit of money, but it was fine. I was just establishing an image for later.
Yeah. Advertising.
So, advertising, a little advertising for later. So
Very nice.
I will say the dealers are great. The players are fun to play with, which made it more fun to splash around a little.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get one more hand in this level. Next
So-
player out's going to get $1,843.
Yeah, we've got 6 players left here who have made sensational runs. Whatever happens from this point going forward, but we got Mick Robolato, your chip leader.
Playing, I just don't know if they're going to come after me.
He came in with 319K and he's got over
Fernandina
1.5.
Beach, Florida. Yeah, it's quite the run. Johnny Ear, Palm Coast, Florida. He's over there in the 2 seat with the green hoodie, orange hat. In the best gray, best bet hoodie. There in the 5 seat is Britt Campana, Florence, South Carolina.
Sports bar owner.
I've never been to South Carolina. I've been to many, many, many states in the U.S., but have not been to South Carolina.
Where is, the heck is the place called? I can't believe you haven't been there.
I know there are a number of players that are down here from North Carolina and Georgia, obviously.
Greg Raymer is one of them.
There you go.
World champ.
Joe DeCharo, Jacksonville, Florida. Local guy, warehouse manager. At Joey D61, JOEYD61. That's Joe DeCharo on Twitter.
Give him a
So
follow.
give
Tell him
him
you
a
like his
follow.
game.
Yep. Conrad Lau, Neptune Beach, the coolest city, Neptune Beach, Florida.
I love it.
At Conrad Lau 1. So that's CONRAD.
Go. 5, 5.
Yeah.
I was like, did he get
That's just like a habit.
eliminated, or
That's just a habit.
can we play like 20 hands really fast?
Like
Just
ASAP.
You must think we're on a real break.
You could go through that really quick. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's doesn't have very many chips there.
Raise 60.
All right, we did a little color up. We're back. Brian Molesky, Judd Greenagle.
Free bet you now.
Best bet.
Jacksonville, Florida.
And here we go. We're down to 6. I haven't heard any chop talk yet,
No, I haven't either.
which that's awesome. Play it out, boys.
I thought I heard it, but it was my teeth chattering back here.
5,080.
Well, you're wearing shorts.
I'm wearing shorts.
Which you should be. It's 70 degrees out.
70, right. I mean, if it was 50, I would wear them outside. Probably 40. It's been freezing at home. I left yesterday morning. It was sleeting and snowing.
Yeah, it snowed. Snowed in the Midwest.
Anybody in Minnesota's listening, you could go and plow my driveway for my wife. I'd really appreciate it. Buy you lunch when I get back. Tweet me.
You can't
JPG Poker. I'll answer it later.
Yeah.
Give you my address. So,
I'll give you his address right now. Man, it's awesome down here, though. Like I said, I spend a lot of time over in the Tampa area, which is 3 to 4 hours from here. Players come from all over down here to play this event, so they have a huge poker following. A lot of card rooms down here in Florida.
and the card room here is great. I mean, it's clean. It's really nice.
It's high end.
High end. Everything is high end down here. It's top notch room. All right.
Best bet.
Robolato moves in with the King 4.
BestBetJax.com. Ooh, I like it. He's
Yeah,
pumping it up.
He's picking up the. I think he was laying in the weeds.
Yep. And he didn't want to mess around. He just said, "I'm going to jam on you, and if you got the ball, if you got the stones to call, then call."
Yeah, he picked up 75K.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's back to a 2-1 chip lead.
And that's one of those things too. Like if you're Campana and you wake up with like ace-9 there, you're like,
Yeah.
that's a substantial overjam
Yeah,
with
well,
1.7. Like it feels so weak.
Yeah.
But can you make the call? Like,
And you know if he does it, he turns over nothing, or he's got 2 aces.
Yeah.
Jacks at worst, probably.
you know, it's like, oh man, you just jammed on that. Why wouldn't you just min raise and then?
Johnny Eater, I believe, is going to get his stack in here. Not from the button. And he's probably not going to get any resistance.
He's going to be happy to see ace-8 there.
I would.
Yeah, these guys are going to fold.
Call.
Oh wow, DeCharo with a big call.
DeCharo, wow.
I mean, it's
I
not
gotta tell ya.
it's not a huge stack, but and DeCharo certainly has the chips to work with here. But
I mean, the King 3 is not
King high.
beating a lot.
Put a jack.
and
But I like it.
Johnny Ear is looking sensational to take this one down.
And
He's got it.
got it now.
Yeah, I don't, you know. Yeah, I know it's not a lot of chips to call that off.
I don't know. I make a lot of dumb calls, so.
You know, and Johnny Ear is probably jamming just about any two
Any two
cards on the
cards there.
button, so you're going to have a wide call range on him.
Yep,
So
I agree. Saw the
He
King and probably that.
probably thinks his king is good a large percentage of the time, to be honest.
It seems like
A lot of player
DeCharo
who's jamming any two.
probably had in his head, and I see a queen or king or better, I'm calling.
Yeah, because it's good a large percentage of the time. We haven't seen any monsters
Aces versus kings or anything like
slamming
that.
into
or-
each other here. Yeah.
I don't think we've seen any sets even flopped.
It's interesting decision here for Johnny Ear because he doesn't have a big. I think he got to fold the 5-6. Unfortunately, obviously, if he has 500 plus in chips, he's going to open there with 5-6 of spades.
Well, he just saw DeCharo's willing to call him with
Yeah, wide
nothing,
range.
so he probably thought, well,
And he called with King 3. He's probably calling with Ace 8. So,
yeah.
but DeCharo's going to get some of those chips back, just like that. He got half that back,
Half of it
so
back,
no
yeah.
problem. Robolato has continued to improve. He's up to 1.7 million. He got to this final table with only 300,000, and he's rolled. He's been rolling.
And he seems to have picked up the aggression level as well.
Yeah. And he's certainly going to need to continue that to obviously any time to win a final table.
Yeah.
There's a premium
Good
hand
hand.
there for Dixon, just what the doctor ordered with that 261K stack.
75.
Let's see.
So it looks like Robolato opened with Ace 3, yep.
75.
And he went 2.5x, so blinds are 15-30. He raised to 75. Pretty standard.
He's
Yeah.
probably going to call.
I would agree. He's definitely calling. So Dixon's going to jam here.
Raise all in.
Yep.
Got like 3 bills or something. Alright, I don't love my hand, but
Robolato taking his time, and he is going to call. Yep, it's the correct call.
Yep.
He's behind here, but
Well, like a
290 is the bet.
king 3, 10 with 2 spades,
see some black
just for a
cards,
fun sweat.
preferably of the spade variety. There's one spade. 3 ball anywhere in there.
Well, Dixon got fired up by the ace. Well,
Give me an 8 first.
he was just fired up. It wasn't a 3.
7 or an ace will give him a chop. Can't lose the hand. There you go.
So Dixon with his life at risk again.
Man, he's
He runs good in
he does.
those situations.
He's winning the all-ins.
Yeah. Those are the important ones to
Yeah,
win.
you win. It's always good till you lose the last one.
Yeah.
Now Robolato,
So Robolato with a little hit, but I mean that hand plays itself. He opened and called it a fairly light jam there, so he's back to 1.4, and that's that's poker. I mean, you're never really going to get out of that situation. Sometimes the hands just play themselves, and I think both players made the correct moves there. It
Exactly.
just
didn't work out. and
yep. Only for Dixon. Robolato just a card rack.
Jeez. Well, we'll probably see some hands here. You got a king 10, a queen 10, and jacks.
And he's in the big blind, so some Campana with his stack and his aggression frequency, I think would be
He's gonna-
willing to
65.
go to the house. Yeah, we'll see.
He just called. Oh, he raised to 65K. I like that.
Well, and DeCharo folded the queen 10 of spades
Wow.
pretty quickly. I thought maybe he might try to do a little something,
Yeah, I did too.
and
Oh, he all in on a call?
so I'm not sure there if Robolato 3-bet and then called
I think
or
he all
jammed.
in and he 3-bet
And
jam.
Campanella, I think that's a pretty big misstep there by Campana to just snap call
Snap
like
with
that.
the king 10. I agree.
Because Robolato doesn't get out of hand too often.
No.
I think he just was frustrated there that he hadn't been picking up any hands.
Yeah.
And Robolato gets his whole stack.
Jeez.
Campana played extremely well at this final table, but that was a huge misstep. I mean, he just got impatient and
Patient
frustrated. He didn't have much to work with, and you can't snap call off against Robolato with King 10 because Robolato always has it.
Yeah.
To
I
be
agree.
honest with you.
Yeah.
He's not, from what we've seen, he hasn't been one that gets out of line too often.
Nope.
So he's always ahead of King 10 there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he could have 9s as your best case scenario, I think.
And Campana still had plenty of chips left. He still had over 300,000, 350,000. He did not need to make that call. But everybody else is going to benefit from it.
Benefit from
So
that, and-
especially Robolato.
Robolato,
He found a way to get his stack.
he's over 1.8. Now he's picked up Jack Queen, which is going to look like a monster in the small blind.
Yep.
And
So we're down to 5.
these guys are playing for about $12,000 today. Robillato's all in. Johnny Ear with the queen deuce. I don't think he's going to make the call.
So Robillado is taking a little different approach than what I would like to see, but he at least is being aggressive.
Yes.
And so the only difference in the approach would be that I would agree to raise.
Just
in
not
that
as
spot.
large.
I just don't think it's necessary. I think a min raise has the same impact in this scenario as an all-in jam, and you're not risking so much. But
I think if he would have re-raised that previous hand, did a min raise, and then I think he might have jammed with the king 10 then.
yeah, and Johnny didn't have much there, so to jam on Johnny is not that big of a deal.
Right.
That's, I mean, whether you're min raising or jamming, it's the same bet there. So what he did there isn't necessarily. It sounds more aggressive to jam all in, but it's just as pretty much against Johnny's stack the same thing as min raising, because you're never going anywhere.
Well, and if you think you've got the best hand, you min raise, and he does go all in, you could call him. He might take that as your weak. And maybe he will. Maybe he'll change speeds and do that now.
Call. Check.
So Ear limped in with a 6-7.
I would have jammed that whole stack there
Yeah.
with 6-7.
And DeCharo checked his option, and neither of them hit anything. Probably going to be a chop pot here.
No, because Ear can't continue with this. DeCharles doing the right thing by Ear is showing weakness, so DeCharles going to bet, and he's going to take this down. So I would have liked to seen Johnny Ear just with that 11, 12 big blind stack just jam that 6-7.
Yeah.
It's a great hand to jam, even if you get called.
Yeah,
It's
you can
it's got
flop
value.
great, and
Yeah.
you're probably live if you get called. So
level 23, 311 runners down to 5. MSPT series at Best Bet Jacksonville, bestbetjax.com. You can check out, they've got tournaments daily, they've got a lot of great cash games.
tons of promotions. Bad beat jackpot over 200,000. Great location.
Yep, a lot of action here at the Best Bet Jacks card room. So get out to, again, bestbetjax.com and check it out. Anything that you need to know about the Best Bet card room, you can find on that site. And they do a better job than anybody, for the most part, that I've ever seen in marketing their big events.
Absolutely.
So-
We should also mention they do have Greyhound
Yeah, Greyhound
simulcasting.
racing. Yeah,
Greyhound
Orange
racing.
Park. I got a Best Bet Jacks also has another location, Orange Park, where they've got a 40 table poker room. I think this one here has maybe 70.
70 some, I think. 72
70 tables,
maybe.
and Orange Park, which is probably a half hour, 40 minutes from here, has 40 tables, as well as it's a Greyhound racetrack.
Racetrack.
And simulcast and all that sort of thing too.
I
got
believe they
simulcasting here.
simulcast horse racing here too year round.
Mhm.
So there's all sorts of stuff to do. There's they've got a restaurant bar in the center. There's a full service bar. There's tableside service.
Massages.
Massage girls walking
DeCharo
around.
picking up kings. Kings have been ugly
Yeah.
from what I've seen this tournament, but he's not up against an ace, so he's in good condition.
He's going to
here.
raise. Dixon might get frisky in the big blind. I suppose if he thinks the king would be good there.
DeCharo with chips is going to be dangerous. Dixon's going to fold pretty quickly. I'm too stubborn.
That's
but
suited, especially when it's
it's
suited.
very,
it looks
it's very,
pretty
very
hard.
wise to make that fold. And DeCharo probably a little disappointed that nobody behind him could wake up with a big hand.
So this could get interesting. We've got 2 ace deuces, one suited in hearts, one in diamonds, and a 10 jack of hearts. All very playable hands. Even the 5-6 offsuit you could play here.
So
With the big stack.
DeCharo raised. I think if I'm Conrad Lau, I jam here. Yep,
Yeah.
he's going to do that, and he's going to be in better shape than you would think. With that.
Lau's all in.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay, I'm
Conrad
sorry.
Lau, I said jam there with 10 jack.
And I think the Charo's probably got to call him.
Yep, he's going to call. He's already got a chunk in there, and it's 167 more, and we've already seen him call off that on with worse hands.
Yeah.
With King 3, so he's going to play this one.
said
You can
that
tell
was-
he senses it though. I mean, he knows that Conrad's not jamming with air. Well, and he does fold. So,
Wow.
I mean, he was ahead there. He doesn't know that. But
Going after my blind like it's free money.
I don't mind that fold there.
No, I mean, you're not ahead much with ace deuce,
Right.
but we have the benefit of seeing how ahead
Yeah,
he
it
was.
was a race more or
Yeah.
less. But I like that he's not just spewing off
Spewing
little-
chips,
bits and
exactly.
bits and pieces. He's gonna take a little break.
There's a lot of chips out there to pick up if you just pick up the blinds and antes here.
Heads up.
So Robalato just calls here. Interesting.
Bet 45.
He's gonna take this down because Johnny Ear has nothing. You got nothing. Reminds me of Freddie. You know.
Yeah.
"12 minutes to roll, round 23 before we go to 2040. Average stack 746. I think we got only one or two two players up above that. That makes sense. There you go.
So Johnny Ear is going to be looking to get his stack in here before the blinds go up, I think.
And we haven't seen Johnny Ears faced for the majority of the.
No.
He doesn't talk much.
Well, not a lot of fives left in the deck.
I know we've if I'm Johnny Ear, I don't even look. I just jam any two cards.
Yeah, what you did.
I do that a lot actually, where I pretend to look because
You
I don't
don't.
want them to think that I'm not looking, but I don't look because I don't want to call an audible on myself.
Yeah, you don't
And
wanna-
not
no,
make
I'm
the
not
right
gonna do
move.
it. Exactly. All right, Nick and DeCharo called quickly with the king five.
Wow.
So he's
He's
got
been
Johnny-
the one who's been willing to call with a wider range.
Yeah,
He's got Johnny Ear in big trouble.
Johnny's got some chop outs here. Well,
Chop outs now.
4, 5, 6, 7.
three,
No,
an
it's a lot
eight,
of
or-
chop outs.
Well, he didn't get there.
Yeah, he missed it. So DeCharlo's going to take out Johnny Ear.
It's a nice little pot there. He's going to be up over $1 million now, I think.
Yeah, so Johnny Ear out of Palm Coast, Florida. By the way, Johnny won the All-In or Fold event.
Oh, very nice.
A few days ago
Okay.
here, event number 2.
Excellent.
And let's be honest, you got to run pretty well to win the All-In or
Yeah.
Fold event.
You got to win a lot of all-ins.
Yep.
So
And Johnny also has his largest career score is 30K. So
Okay.
certainly established, and he'll take a 5th place here. So congrats to Johnny for Johnny Ear.
looks like he's already got a seat too for the main event.
Yep. Doesn't surprise me at all. So we're down to 4.
So we're gonna have a big pot here,
Nick
I think.
Robalato.
Robalato's got ace 10 and DeCharo's got ace king here.
Yeah, and Robalato has shown the ability to get away from
Yep.
big spots like this. I think that's
DeCharo's got to be feeling pretty good right now.
and DeCharlo has shown that he's willing to play pots with just about anything. Robalato, well, I'd say to his credit, is able to get away and salvage some spots like this where he probably
Yeah.
should lose a large percentage of his stack. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if he can do the same here.
210.
So I'm guessing DeCharo raised.
He's-
Interesting
he's-
to see what he raised it up to. The 210.
Yeah, and he
Robalato
just flat
folded.
folded.
Just
Four-handed to fold ace 10 is a huge fold.
Yeah,
And he lost nothing.
that's nothing.
I would have lost a lot more on that hand.
I would have
so-
maybe re-raised him once to see where I was at, and if he
Yeah.
maybe fold.
But he sniffed that right out and lost absolutely nothing. So that's certainly impressive.
Up against like everybody.
Whatever read he has there, is sensational.
See, I think he must have showed him the ace king because he looks pretty happy with himself. Robalato again continues to pick up big hands. He's got pocket sevens, and DeCharo's got 9-10.
Yeah, and Robalato's going to pop at this time from under the gun.
I think DeCharo didn't even play the 9-10.
Are the blinds still 15-30? And Robolotto
Oh,
popped.
they're 2040, I believe.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
1530. They go to 2040.
I thought that was interesting because Robolotto there had, and this is what's interesting. So earlier with bigger hands, he was popping it to 75K at 1530. That time he just popped it to 100K, which
Okay.
is over 3x.
3.3x.
Which, if some of these players, that's one of the major tells that a lot of players have is their
Bet
bet
sizing.
sizing. So the more they bet, the weaker they are. And it'll be interesting to see if we can pick up a trend. So just keep that in the back of your mind that he just raised to almost 3.5x with sevens because he didn't want anyone to play with him. Whereas earlier, 2.5 with the stronger hand, it was 2.5x.
Yep.
So the next time he picks up a hand, I'm curious to see
see his
if
bet
his bet
size.
size is relative to the hand that he's holding.
The strength of his holding. Yep.
Yep.
And this is Brian and mine attempt here to sound like we know a little bit about poker, but
But realistically, all these guys will outplay us. Well, maybe not. Is that what you said?
no, I'm kidding. So Dixon's got a pair here. I expect he's gonna. I don't know. He might just raise, but I think he'll offer it up.
I would just shove it in here.
Yeah. And hope I get called by ace 4.
So
But
something.
he
happened
folded,
here.
I think.
No, he didn't.
He folded.
You're never folding sixes in the four-handed with. That
Well,
can't.
he doesn't have cards, sir.
That can't happen. We need a replay on that.
My God.
We need to make sure he had sixes there because that doesn't seem to add up. Well, then clearly he doesn't want to bust next.
No,
If
the
he's folding
jumps are a little
sixes.
bigger now, so
Yeah.
maybe he's conscious of the jumps, and he notices that the two chip leaders are willing to play pots with each other.
Yeah, he's hoping that Lau goes out next.
Yep. Which, and he does, has a couple 100,000 more than
But
him.
so he just folded 7-9 of hearts too. I would always open with that as well, four-handed. But the problem with continuing to fold here is these blinds come around quickly.
Yeah.
So even though he only has a 400K stack, look at that. He's paying 65,000 every
Yeah,
four hands.
More than 10% of his stack.
Yeah.
You're in the blinds half the time when you're
Yeah,
four-handed.
so 400 and some K is not going to last long right now. You have to play pocket sixes four-handed.
Yes, and you have to play it strong.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
unload. Because even if you jam and you're picking
Call.
up 65.
Yeah.
So now, and of course, unfortunately for Dixon, there's a great percentage that Lau is going to, at a minimum, win 65K here.
Yeah.
And he's going to pass up Dixon pretty quickly.
250. Yeah.
Well, what's he thinking of?
No, he's never. He's just, and here's another thing too, is sometimes
Oh.
he's never going to call here with this, but sometimes,
I think he's wishing he played the pocket sixes at this point.
yeah. No, and that's posturing a little bit there. I mean, you don't want to just, sometimes he's never ever calling there with Jack 2, right? But you don't want the guy on your right to think that he can just jam out and you're going to
yeah.
snap fold all the time. You got to make it look like you have a wider
Don't you
range.
sometimes
and
just muck it right away and then
sometimes.
then you wake up
Yeah.
with the four deuce?
Yeah, I'm not trying to
next time,
Hollywood,
and
but
then
at the
you-
same time, you got to let the guy sweat it a little bit to know that it's going to be a little difficult to steal your blinds from time to time.
Yeah.
Just pay the big line.
Oh, he means your cards, to show your cards.
Brian Molesky, Judd Greenangle here at MSPT Best Bet Jacksonville.
First time MSPT's been here, and it's been a great stop so far. We've had
Yeah,
you've been here for 8 days now.
a couple
and I've been here for a
guarantees
couple
met
days,
so
but-
far. 100K
yeah.
guarantee in the 350 event, and of course the 50K guarantee here in the $200 event number 6. This is right here. You'll see Best Bet. Make sure it's all lowercase.
And no sweat on that main event. That's going to end up being a pretty big prize pool.
Yep.
A lot of big guns from the Midwest are coming in, and the local hot shots will all be here, I'm sure. Excited to meet them, and
We've had some players in here from Louisiana. We've already mentioned South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia.
South Dakota,
I've seen a few Mississippi players rolling in.
Minnesota players already here, and more coming today and tomorrow. And Saturday.
A lot of Michigan folks, Chicago we mentioned, so we're looking forward to seeing them all in this, all here in Florida this weekend. And not to mention the huge Florida contingent we have here at Best Bet Jacksonville. We've already seen, 3 players from Jacksonville alone at this final table.
Yeah.
So
Neptune Beach was represented.
Neptune Beach, everybody's got a Fernandina Beach,
Yeah.
Robalato.
Robalato flopped the world here.
He's been doing that at this final
He
table.
has. He's been running quite well. And Lau comes
Caught up?
through. Caught up. Well, he was ahead, but it didn't feel like it. Another shout out I want to give to Annie and Eddie from Minnesota that are down here.
Yep, Canterbury Park. I know they're tight with
duo.
Deb and Jesse and them, and went out and did some fishing yesterday.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
did
like
some
that.
fishing, and I believe they're playing. They're probably out there playing right now in the qualifier. So that big 20-seat guarantee.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going. We'll have to check it out on
check
break.
it out on break.
It's nice, man. I get when we go out of here on break, I get the security guy
Security guy walks
right
around
on
with
my
us.
tail the entire time. I told him, I said I need him to come out to the bar with me
Bar with you,
to
yeah.
make me look really important for the ladies.
Well, exactly. That's.
I have no shot otherwise.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I was like, hey, what are you doing later?
we talked some baseball with him on the break.
Yeah,
He's a big Yankees fan, which we both are too.
Yeah, good dude, good dude.
Yeah.
3-11 down to 4. Best Bet Jacksonville. Event number 6. Final table, 12K up top, $200 buy-in. 1530 is the level. Robalato been cruising here.
Cruising.
1.7 million. And we got a good view of him.
Yeah, now we can. Now we gotta see him.
Eric's got him moved over to the 3 seat, and I can't see him behind those shades though, so we're not going to get a lot of reads off of him.
Conrad Lau, he's played really well, I think.
Yeah. All these guys have. He's not going to get any action out of Dixon there.
Well, we got a minute and a half left here in this level, and the blinds are going to 20-40 with a 5K ante.
Well, hopefully you're not back here with me Sunday night.
That's the plan.
Hopefully
I know.
you're actually playing at
Playing
the
at
final,
the final
table.
table, and you can critique my play.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh my God!
I'll make fun of your pink shirt.
I know you will. I'll wear it too. I will. Either that or I'll wear some sort
I
of.
think that's all you wear is pink shirts.
Sometimes, yeah. Look
You're
very
confident, you're
very
confident.
passive at the table.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
see?
a sweetheart look. I
Yes,
get it.
exactly.
Genius.
So
I'm walking every.
I don't know if you would describe the results as genius though, but it's the thought.
Oh, you thought I wanted you in behind and try to get you both? One that I like.
Call.
This guy's discussing a previous hand.
Heads up.
This will be the last hand of this level.
Blinds up next hand. Small blind 20,000, big blind 40,000.
I love that DeCharo is just willing to place pots.
Robalato's going to take it down, though. Here we go, 20-45K, Annie.
Next player out's going to get about $3,000, $29.89, and first place is going to be almost $12,000. So there's a lot of money on the line here for these guys in a $200 buy-in tournament.
I think I might have just discovered a glitch in the software.
Really?
I thought on that last hand when it went to 20, so no, I can't know that though. I wonder if, I bet, see the pot was 80K. I wonder if Eric bumped it up early on that last hand because that last hand was still 1530 with a 5K ante. So it should have been 65, but this said 80. So I'm wondering, and he has to manually do that.
Well,
so
maybe the clock
no,
actually.
it hasn't, it's not tied, it's not synced with the clock though. Like, it doesn't know that the clock is changing. Eric has to do that manually, so I think he bumped that too early. I like when I catch him making mistakes.
I know you do.
Busted.
Yeah.
Now our chip counts are off, see?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit, because there was a little extra in the whoever was in the blinds is their stacks can be short 5 or 10K when you bump it early. Ooh, I like to call him out on that stuff. Makes me feel cool.
Eric doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
No,
But when he
no.
does good
I
ones.
let him know.
He does good ones.
He does good ones.
I'll attest to that of making a panic trip to a venue this week and overnighting a package down
Yeah,
here.
he somehow left half of our final table
At the previous stop.
Not quite sure how that happens, but it happened.
It all worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily here the facilities department hooked us up
Hooked
with
us-
the bottom of this table.
Yes, exactly.
and you overnighted
And
us
I
a few pieces
overnighted
of
some
equipment.
pieces of equipment, so,
Saved the day for him.
yeah,
He did not want to tell me.
I can imagine.
You can see on the scroll there at the bottom, msptpoker.com and bestbetjacks.com. Those should be the first two sites you hit every single day. Then follow that up with pokernews.com.
And then I would go to holmaudio.com, HOLM.
Any more? Let's do it.
We won't discuss any of the other sites that people hit each day.
20, 45K ante, 311 down to 4. Here they are. Mick Robolato, cruising, chip leader. Joe Gicharo, Jacksonville, Florida. Second chips, Conrad Lau, Neptune Beach, Florida. And James Dixon out of Jacksonville. All four of these guys have played superb poker. And
To make it through 311 runners is no easy feat there.
definitely no easy task, and here they are.
I'm guessing DeCharo might call him here. Oh, he folded
No,
the king.
that's
seven.
too much. 500 and some's too much. So they're all guaranteed $3,000. Playing for 12K up top. I haven't heard any chop talk yet. A little refreshing.
You know what else is refreshing? That cool air back here.
What'd you say?
Yeah, exactly. If it sounds like we're stammering or stuttering, it's just our teeth chattering. I wonder if they sell a best bet blanket I could go buy out front.
They sell sweatshirts.
Yeah.
They sell hoodies.
All in, seat 7.
If I would have worn jeans, I'd have been fine.
DeCharo unloading on Lau here, returning the favor of the last hand.
Well, we have the same hand.
They're not messing around here now. They're saying, let's go get it.
Let's get it.
Us two guys should be used to this coldness. We
Yeah.
shouldn't complain.
Well, in Minnesota, we'd be dressed
Yeah.
more appropriately.
100,000.
The Charo's going to raise, and Dixon's folds. Wow.
Ace-7 is not an easy fold there, four-handed with that stack. But these guys are certainly opening up the range, which I like. So
The Charo's kind of closed the gap.
they're
a
all
little
open.
bit.
They're all open jamming, but it, you know, it's certainly not with premium hands, so they're not afraid to
No.
mix it up. So DeCharo doesn't like the 4-5 suited.
No, I do.
I would like that.
I would
hand.
think that Dixon's going to jam in here.
And Robolato's got a call.
Yeah.
Definitely. Dixon's got a jam and ace.
Roblox should.
Did he just fold that?
Wow.
So for the record,
He's
if you're
folding.
playing four-handed with 10 bigs, you should never, ever, ever, ever fold an ace in your small blind when it is
You should
folded
probably
to
not
you.
even look at your small blind if it folds to you.
Yeah. That was, I'm just going to be honest with you, that Dixon should never, ever fold that hand. He just coughed up 80,000 with an ace.
Ace.
with just him and one other player. I
One other
mean,
player.
statistically, his hand is going to be ahead such a large
Large
percentage
percent
of the
of the time.
time with that ace in that hand.
DeCharo picks up
We
another
don't see a
big
lot.
hand.
Yeah, we're not seeing any nickel and diamond here.
Raise. 120.
Yeah, and if I'm DeCharo, I repop
Repop
to
it.
about 280,
Yeah, I was
290.
gonna say, I was going like
I go a little
60,
more.
270
I
maybe.
well, I go a little more because I'm out of position.
Yeah, and I think if you make
Actually,
it a
no.
little smaller,
I take
it'll
that back.
feel weak.
No, I completely take that back. He actually
in
has
position.
position, so I like the 260 range.
And Robolato could feel like it's.
So let's see what
could weak.
Let's see if DeCharo was in our range when Eric pops it up on the board. It's 345, I think.
225. Oh no, 345. Okay.
Yeah, he repopped it to 345. Good fold, no doubt. He took a shot, got repopped, and fold. That's the Robolato made the right move there.
You're probably bluffing into that turn.
The downside with popping it to 345 is that you're basically saying to the other guy that I'm playing
Playing
the
for my
entire
stack.
pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not.
You don't give him a shot to come back over the top of you when tens is a monster heads up like that.
I think that if you make it a little smaller re-raise, it makes you look weak, and he might think he can take the pot down by jamming over the top of you.
You're giving him the room to jam over
Right.
the top of you, which is what you want, because you'll take tens all day
All day.
in this spot.
And if he's got jacks or better, well,
It is
you know
what
what?
it
I
is.
took it to the face.
Yeah.
Now there could be some ICM considerations, and the next guy out's going to get
For sure.
4,000, and there's 12,000 up top. So
Raise.
Yep. And you are butting heads with the chip leader, but
Yeah.
Charo firing again, which I like.
yeah, he's been aggressive, and he's
If I'm Lau here, I do consider jamming. It would be an interesting spot, but he snap folds. I am not one who likes to call that often.
with the king four. No, I would have rather called that 225 with
But
5-6
Robolato
suited.
is on the button, so he gets to play this hand in position, which
Yeah.
is very important. So I don't mind that.
Bet. 250.
And DeCharo's got a C bet, and it's always difficult to C bet into it the chip leader with 4 to go. Who's got position on you?
No, he lets it.
And he fold. Okay.
They're going to be.
I would have really, man, I know it's harder, it's easier said than done because we can see the cards, but it would have been interesting to see Robolato put some pressure on him
Yeah.
and come over the top of him there, because he puts DeCharo in a really bad spot. when
DeCharo's taken over the chip lead.
Yeah. Because he's been the most aggressive here.
Yes, he's been the most
Now
aggressive.
he picked up tens, which helps.
Yeah. But again, I personally would have rather taken that 3-bet to the face with the 5-6 suited instead of the king 4, calling that 225. So we'll see if that comes back to him.
Raise. 120.
Al moved in with his ace and wins.
Yep. So Dixon closing in on life support
Yeah,
here.
he's
been,
gonna need the defibrillator here.
This is the problem, is patient play will kill you four-handed because it's 80K around an orbit. There's only 4 players. You're paying
Yeah,
like you
2.5
said, paying the
orbits
blinds
left
half the
here.
time. You cannot afford to play laid back
Yeah.
in this instance. 10-handed, tight works.
Yep.
You know, tight can work. But
But you gotta open it up at some
four-handed, you
point.
gotta fire, man.
Well, and here, see, the problem now is he's so short stacked. He's gonna get called by just about anything when he does move in.
Correct. Yeah, they just got no fold equity
So he's
left.
gonna have to make his hand or hope his hand holds up if he does get it all in.
Andy, please.
Obviously, I'm not one who likes to sit around and blind myself off. And
You'll very rarely see me below 10 bigs.
yeah,
I start getting aggressive at that point because you got to have chips. You want to
To
double
win it.
up and have some, you know, if you. Some people like to fold themselves down to 5 bigs, but then if you double up, you're still only at 10. So you got to win 2 battles
2
versus
battles.
1. But
All in. Seat 9.
so DeCharo is going to play this. I don't see DeCharo sitting out four-handed with an
No.
ace. I think.
well, Dixon moved in and DeCharo called.
Yeah.
So
Which-
Dixon's not in a bad spot here. I mean, but he's still going to be short stacked even if he wins the hand.
Even if he wins the hand, you got it. That's the issue.
Throw a deuce at it, right?
Well, that was a good flop for
It's a
him.
great flop. It's still 50-50 though.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of outs, but
All right, that's the world.
and DeCharo holds.
Wow.
I would have busted him if I called
He
it.
He had
fades
too many
it.
outs there, I think.
Yep.
All right.
So DeCharo is going to eliminate James Dixon.
Dixon. He's from right here at Jacksonville, isn't he?
Jacksonville.
He's
So congratulations to James Dixon for a fantastic run. He'll take home, I think, about $3,000. So for a $200 buy-in event, that's a fantastic return.
great return.
So hopefully we'll see him here this weekend. So congrats, James Dixon. Heck of a run, man. He played great. You know, I think he should have played. I think when he comes back and watch this, he'll have wished he played much more aggressive
Played
when we
that
got.
pocket sixes.
But
and
that's
ace.
you know we talk about this all the time. Like how often are these players in a short-handed scenario at a final table? Nobody ever plays this stuff out. It doesn't happen very often. So
I'm not gonna do an even shot.
it takes some adjusting, and I think when James comes back and watches this, he'll wish he had played a little more aggressive short-handed. But up until that point, he played fantastic.
Lau could be a beneficiary here of kind of a cold deck. The two big stacks on the button and the wow.
Well, and
So-
Lau's got a little room to work here, but now we're three-handed,
No,
so the
but-
blinds are coming around even more often.
But DeCharo folded an ace six there on the small blind.
I intend to be one of
Wow,
After
that's uncharacteristic.
Robalato,
That's
raised
uncharacteristic.
with the ace five.
Oh,
I was
okay, well,
shocked. Yeah.
Well, he's doing ICM, right? So
Yeah.
he's thinking, okay, I don't want to battle with the chip leader if I don't with a kind of a weak ace
Yeah.
out of position. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. I actually think that's probably a good move. I'd rather play the chip leader in position with something with a piece of crap
Yeah.
than
Then
ace
that could
five
be
or ace six
dominated.
or whatever out of position.
So Lau's got deuces. He's all in, it looks like.
And Robalato's got a call.
Got a call here.
And he does. Okay.
That's
So
a virtual coin flip.
we're moving along. So let's see if Lau can double up. He's got the pair.
And if he doubles up
Robalato's
here,
got a hit.
he's got a. They'll be real close in. Well, he needs a 9, an ace, or a 7. And there's
There
the
it
ace.
is, yep. So now Lau needs a 2. There's 2 in the deck. He's got to come back.
It's coming. Nope. Ooh.
So unfortunately for Conrad, Lau, he played fantastic, but he's
Third
going to,
place
just like
finisher.
that, hand after hand, he's going to be our third place finisher. And we're going to be heads up. We've got Mick Robalato and Joe DeCharo, and pretty much from the get-go, it's felt like it's going to
Those
be
two.
these two heads up,
Yeah.
right? Unless something went wrong. These two
It's basically dead.
has seemed to, I don't want to say run the best, because that's not the reason they're 1 and 2 here, but it just has felt
Their
that way.
aggression and their
They haven't had a lot of speed bumps to
No.
get from at this final
They've
table
ran
to get
pretty
to this
well.
point. Yep. So
So these guys are playing. I think second place is about 7,500, and first is about
7,000 even for first.
Well,
Big
hold on,
blinds.
wait, what do you think? Yeah, change to 11 even. That's fine. Do it. 11 even and the rest is second.
So big here, small on the button.
And what, on 20 on the button?
I think they just worked out a chop.
each probably. I mean, I can't hear it, but
I mean, I'd also do an even shot.
I don't do that. Changes
They're
to
talking chop, so I can't.
I'm only interested in that. Like, sorry to go home, but 200K.
C3 raises 200,000.
That raise is way too big.
We just made.
Robalato with kings at 2040 level, and he raised it 200.
We did
I
we did
hate it.
950.
But
We screwed
you
up
just got
7 seconds.
you want to raise often
That's fine, right?
in this spot, but it should be a min raise every day. You should never bet more than 80,000 at this point.
When you say no, that's not fine.
so second place is going to get 7,500, just under
Well,
7,500.
reported they've worked out a chop.
Okay.
But I can't message anybody to
Right.
understand the exact details. It'd be nice to know that. But they're going to play for the difference in the trophy here.
Raise 145,000. Seat 7.
It's been a relatively quick final table
I
anyway.
think so. Yeah, it's been
Of course, when they're 30-minute levels versus the hour.
hour levels exactly. go on break in 14 minutes.
We'll see if they can last that long. All right, so enjoy the show. Here we go. Heads up. Mick Robalato, Joe DiChiaro. It's felt that pretty much the entire time that these two were heading towards this confrontation. Robalato picked up kings right off the bat, but I don't know that it really would have mattered what he bet, as DiChiaro had 4-8 off.
Pretty sure I'm good with 10 high.
There's 9 high.
Pretty sure 10 high is the nuts, though.
Event number 6 heads up, $200 buy-in. Reportedly a 12K up top. We don't know the exact chop details, but you can see the it's actually, you can't see it from this angle, but it's actually a pretty cool best bet Jacksonville trophy
No, they're
on
very
the table.
neat.
Yeah,
You know what, man?
Also-
I wanted one really bad.
How would you feel about changing?
Both these guys, this is going to be their largest live tournament cash too.
Yep.
How would you feel about changing the bet?
So that's exciting.
Want to change it back?
No, I'm thinking about it.
You're the short one.
Raise.
Matter?
And now that the chop is underway, there's a lot of laughing that.
Yeah. Makes it a lot easier to play when you know
Yeah.
you've locked up a big payday.
No, we didn't.
We
No, we
didn't.
didn't.
We didn't. I don't agree to it. Only because that difference is what I got to pay for you.
They're both relatively deep, so
What?
Nothing.
But they both seem to want to play a big pot, so
Yeah.
I think it'll move relatively quickly here. There's not a lot of min raising here.
Robalato with the 5-8 is going to fold.
Opposite position than I am.
Yeah, when you raise with the queen 9. Yeah. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. He's like, nope, ace queen's no good here.
We're going to, I think we're going to, the way, well, generally I would say that you might see a little bit more nickel and diamond here and see what happens, but these guys have seemed to like to play big pots, so. Oh, so I like DiChiaro raised to 100K. I really like Robalato's raise here.
Min
even though-
raise, yeah.
he raised to 200, which I think is awesome. I think that's the right play. He's way behind here, but unfortunately for him. But
30%'s way behind.
well,
It is. I know.
it's
All right, now you raised to 6.
so now he just Robalato just calls.
Hmm.
100,000 more.
I mean,
So I mean a third of a stack.
the down part is you got to play this pot out of position. So I kind of prefer to re-jam or fold here, but ace 5 is certainly a hand heads up that you can. And so Robalato jams. That
That's
puts
aggressive.
that's really aggressive. And DiChiaro is in a horrible position now, and he snap folds. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's how you take down that pot.
Well, yeah, you had the backdoor flush draw and the straight draw.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I
Not
don't have
at
a
all.
problem with it. It was a big pot already, and he blew him out of there. He had outs. Plan B. He
I
had
think he
plan
knew
B.
he was just going to jam it on the flop.
Yep. Well done. And now he's got a 2-1 chip lead.
They were virtually even at the start of that
We-
hand.
yeah,
and
that's
he
a-
was dominated. He played that well.
Yeah. That's about the only way to win that hand.
Yeah. The old
And he
stop
did.
and go, I believe you
Yeah.
call that.
Yep.
$311 runners started this thing. We're down to 2 in Jacksonville at Best Bet Jacksonville.
As Dan Dykman in the background there with the orange hat. He cashed in this event. He's had a couple of nice runs this week. Nice gentleman.
Just be an interested onlooker.
DeCharo's going to pop it from the... Oh, he just calls. I pop it there,
Yeah.
no doubt. Now he's going to let Robolato have a
Catch
flop
up.
here.
Yeah.
They both missed horribly. DeCharo...
It's going to be tough to win this one here.
10 high.
10 high is good.
DeCharo with his 10 high. I did win a pot earlier in the cash game with 8 high today.
Did you?
Yep. And I bet it the whole way.
Crowd loving it.
And we went to showdown. The guys...
12K up top.
What was that? No, I want to take a break if it's okay. Yeah, I'd like to play the break.
Either of these, both these players are going to be really happy with their return on investment here.
I mean, I have to piss them off. Call.
Call.
It's like Robolato limps in, and DeCharo's going to raise with his ace-jack. Take it down.
Robolato sitting comfortably with a nice chip lead, almost 2-1. After stealing a pot a couple hands ago with ace-5 of diamonds.
I like to call that manufacturing.
Yeah.
Not first. Check.
Now these guys are kind of getting to the limping.
Yeah, that's not an ideal strategy, heads up, but we'll see
Well, he got a
what they
gutter
can make of
ball
it.
and a bottom pair. And now he's got third pair and bottom pair.
And there's snap checking. Hmm. Six and a half minutes remain in this level.
Do people talk about like what a giant fish in the Tupac in Miami? Is that why you don't want to stop?
No, that wasn't. I didn't mean anything by it. I was like more like thinking out loud, and then when I said it, I was like, oh well, I said it, and I really was more thinking out loud than anything. I shouldn't. I'm sorry about that. Are you a big fish in the 2-5 game?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I play it.
Raise
Make money at it.
105,000.
So 65 more is what to do?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
I like this hand. That's too much. Right? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
I check. 100K.
100,000 takes it.
Sorry, man. So we don't even like oh yeah, we do have break right now. Yeah, you're right.
this is
Yeah.
right.
I really didn't mean anything by that, man. I
No,
really
it's
didn't mean anything by that. I really was. I don't know if you noticed. I was kind of saying it under my breath at first, and then when you heard me, I was like, well, now I might as well tell him what I said.
I just thought it was weird because I had taken the lead back and you're like,
no, it
now
wasn't
you-
like that. It was just more. I don't know. I guess I didn't mean to.
It's fine.
Raise.
Ace,
105.
it's over.
Just letting him
No,
know.
I know, I'm sorry.
He needs it.
The TV man. Yeah, the one person who's not my mom that's watching this right now.
Hey, my wife is watching this.
Is there like a comment section or something where people are talking about us? mean, honestly, I'd like good. Yeah, I'd like constructive stuff. Like, I wish. I mean, I guess that's part of the internet for you.
Raise 105,000.
Yeah, I call. Yeah, but it's less in your face. Yeah. I called you raising. I don't remember what I had. 250,000.
250,000 is the bet.
All in.
Call.
Raise. I have an all-in and a call.
We got it. All in and a call.
Robolato's got the open ender, but DeCharo's got the flush draw and is 97% to double up.
Now that he's made his straight. Get a flush and a straight draw.
Jack high
There
straight.
you go.
So Robolato got. Oh wait, what just happened?
He made a jack high straight.
Oh yeah. I missed the
Yeah,
jack
the
high straight.
straight, his
I was like,
half of Robolato's.
I was like, Robolato's got a straight.
Yeah, half of Robolato's straight draw was no good.
Yeah.
He had the best hand when the money went in, but he was actually an underdog.
Open-ender.
1,175,000.
So now DeCharo will have a 2-to-1 chip advantage. We're not done yet, folks.
I can pull it back, right?
Nice game.
Thank you, sir.
Been over with that pot. What do I got a milli exactly.
Oh, you have a little more than that.
Yeah, milli
1.15.
milli 1.5 or 1.6.
Annie's in blank.
All in.
All in.
Of events, DeCharo with chip lead 2-to-1. This will probably be the last hand before break, and it's not pretty. I'm assuming now. Sometimes players at this point don't want to take a break; they just assume to keep playing. I am not sure which route these players will go.
If they don't take a break, I think we're going to take a 5-minute break in the announcing booth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how we
We'll
do
be
it.
right back if that's the case.
I've done that before. And it's worked. Taking a break.
As you can see here, they're not exactly working with premium hands.
No. Or with any.
But there's a lot of checking and folding, so they're getting a lot of hands in the last minute. The last minute
I was
of
going to
play.
say they played 3 more hands than I would have picked them to.
Yep.
Bring it into this hand.
Yeah, we're gonna take a full break.
What?
What?
How long you got to think?
15 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna take a full Is that okay, Charlie?
Unless there's a queen on the flop, this is going nowhere.
100,000.
Robolato bets and
Raise.
All right, this time.
Charo
Huh.
calls. Huh.
oh, he ra-
I got 1, 2. You got the rest of them.
Okay.
Thanks. So not quite 3-1. I like that. What?
$1,000 the button, 50 for the big, 50, 25, 50. 25, 55, Andy.
25, 55. Okay.
Back. We are heads up. Mick Robolato. They're in the brown, what would you call it? That's kind of old school.
That is like an old school tracksuit.
Yeah.
I like it.
just noticed
It's a
that,
Greyhound
yeah.
track with a tracksuit on.
Those are hard to find, by the way. And I actually did look for one
Nice.
in October for Halloween.
Okay.
I should have given him a call. He probably knows where to track him down.
I'd like to see Matt Kirby in one of those.
Joe DiCharo is his opponent.
Joey D61 at Joey D61.
Out of Jacksonville, Florida, and of course Mick Robolato out of. It's so cold in here.
Ferdinandino Beach or something.
Fernandina Beach, and I'm so cold. I'm like freezing. I can't
It's
even
really
say it.
cold back here.
Yeah. And then we went outside and warmed up, and now
Came back in and it feels colder.
yeah.
It's like being in the whirlpool and jumping in a regular pool.
Yeah, chattering the teeth a little bit here. So we're gonna. Hey, but you know what? We're gonna tough it out for this
We are.
heads-up battle.
All right, so these guys
DiCharo has a 2-1 chip lead, 2.6 million.
won a big pot just before the break.
Yep. And
He's probably not going to win the
we've
tournament
seen
here.
both these guys have been playing, I guess, a different strategy than most would probably recommend heads up. It's been a lot of calling, limping,
150.
Raising
versus
or folding.
I am more of a raise or fold heads up. I don't do a lot of limping or calling. And you really want to raise at a minimum probably 80% of the time
I
on
would
the
think
button.
so, yeah.
Just because you're in position.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's-
some of it, though, depends on your opponent. If they're very passive, you might want to try to limp a couple times, but
yeah, sure. Yeah, no doubt.
try
I mean,
to
it
catch
can
lightning
vary.
in a bottle. But that's not, I don't know, the ideal way to play, I don't think. So Robolato here now raised the 7-deuce suited, and DiCharo called.
I like the raise.
Yep.
And
Well,
25-50 he raised to 100. I think that's perfect.
And Robolato checked.
And I love the check.
Yeah, and
Try to he's got the
There you go.
entire board.
yeah,
But he did get DiCharo to bet out, which is perfect.
yeah. Now hopefully he just calls.
I would just call here. I would actually think a little bit and then call. Yeah, he's going to raise.
That's gonna be
I would just call. DiCharo's not getting involved in this.
no.
But I like the pre-flop raise. I like the check on the flop.
Yeah, I would have checked again.
Yep. I would hope that I can get him. I would make it feel like I didn't want to play anymore, and then hope I can get 150 out of him on the.
On
the river.
Or maybe a 10 comes off. And
So
he
there you
goes
see, it's
crazy.
11,956 for first, 7 something for
Almost
second.
7,500.
And it sounds like we did get some update on the chop on break. So basically what they did is just take 1,000 off the top of first and give it to second. So they're really playing for 11K and 8,500, more or less.
Well, that seems reasonable.
So
Great payout for these guys. $200 tournament here.
yep.
Probably see some action here. DiCharo's probably going to raise with the 6-7. And Robolato probably re-raise with the suited ace-8. He's all in, and DiCharo's going to fold.
You don't want to give up that lead at all, do you?
I wasn't strong enough to call that.
Robolato's got the hat backwards now,
Yeah,
over the top.
mixing it up.
Yeah.
Tracksuit on, hat backwards.
Getting serious.
Kind of reminds me of the Pink Panther out sitting there.
When are they going to bring that movie in back?
They should. I was
A
going to say, a
new-
lot of
new
people
version.
listening probably don't even know what it is. Big cartoon when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. Roadrunner. They should make
Yeah,
movies. Out of it.
Roadrunner.
Of course, that wasn't really much of a show. That was just.
Chasing the coyote, coyote chasing the Roadrunner around,
And constantly failing.
failing, getting the TNT dropped on his head and giant rocks.
Sounds like we have a massive turnout out there for the qualifier.
Yeah,
right?
we're over 150 players
Wow.
already. They guaranteed 20 seats. We're back here pushing. There's going to be an overlay.
Yeah.
Probably drove by the end. They're already giving more than 30 away.
That's going to put us darn near up to 200K before the event even starts.
Yeah, that's great.
It's
I mean,
unbelievable.
it's a great turnout here. Yeah, I think you can still get in for another 45 minutes or so.
It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's got to be.
I think it was 8:45. They
Okay.
said, or 8:30 possibly. But you got some time to get in.
Yeah, it's got to. It's probably 8:40 because it's 30-minute levels and it's 8:45. You nailed it. Yeah, because it's 15-minute break.
breaks.
Yep. Boom. There you go. See how we worked into that?
Yep, we just slid right into that.
Just math geniuses back here. I'm ready for dinner, I'll tell you that. They have a fantastic club sandwich here. You know what else I get every day? Like 3 times a day. Wow, that's
Let me
exaggerating.
guess, is it a breakfast sandwich?
Yeah. The
I got-
bacon, egg, and cheese croissants are good here. That's what I get.
I'll be honest, I got 2 of them last night. I got one on a croissant and one on a bagel.
Wow, okay.
That was my dinner.
Very nice.
What did you have for dinner last night, Brian?
Capital Grill. Steak
guys-
and asparagus and some phenomenal au gratin potatoes.
Just gonna say, I know you probably got a gratin potatoes.
Yeah. And that was my second time eating there this week, and it was so good.
You guys can see how the rankings work here. I'm eating breakfast sandwiches. Brian's eating steak.
Capital Grill.
Capital Grill.
Didn't even think about it. It's only 500.
It's all right.
But we've already agreed to it. We're already doing.
I wanted to get my feet wet in the card room and play the final flight of this event.
Raise 175 or 150.
And I had a great time. I didn't do great
Hopefully you picked up a few things on just a player or two that you
Just-
might see over the weekend.
in the main event. I'd like to save my run good for the weekend.
Give me a few minutes to think about it, right? I'm not like waiting to see what happens. I'm just thinking about it. I don't think you can pause the clock and think about that.
I'm going to say we don't finish this level, Brian.
Well, the average stack is close to 40 bigs,
Yeah, I know.
which is pretty deep.
They're going to each get a hand or a big ace, medium ace, and a small pair, and they're going to put it in. And
Call.
And Robolato limps in, and DeCharo checks. That's interesting.
You know.
If Robolato hits 2 pair here, this could be
Well,
interesting.
DeCharo's only got a gut shot.
275.
And an
so-
overcard. Really, 2 overcards.
He's going to raise and pretend like he owns it. Robolato's got bottom pair and a gut shot as well. I'm sorry, yeah, gut shot to the 7. But he's in the lead currently, but he's going to give it up. So aggression wins. DeCharo takes it down. He's up to 2.6. Chipping away at Robolato after the big double up. 311 runners down to 2.
So it must be about 2.6 to a million here, huh? Yep, 2.6 to 1.1. Still anybody's game. Charo folds. I see now. I like that instead of limping or.
Yeah, I say raise or fold.
Yep. Robolato's looking pretty comfortable over there.
Yeah, he is. He doesn't look nervous, does he? Or he doesn't look
No.
worried about being down. What, a little over 2 to 1?
Well, I mean, what's the worst case scenario? He leaves with 8,500.
That's a good point.
You know, how bad could it be?
couple beauties.
Yeah, real doozies here.
Check my mouth. Jag. Next one.
And DeCharo with a little aggression wins with the rags there.
Should have called that all. That was my favorite one.
Blinds are 25-55K. Annie?
Looked up.
These guys are sitting still, even
I'm sure my cards are lost.
Robolato is sitting at over $1 million.
Is he over $1 million still?
Yeah, I know I'm behind.
He's at 867.
All in.
Okay, so I was a little off. Close enough.
Close enough.
Robolato jams.
Wins with the queen deuce. And he was
It's
dominated.
a
but he-
relatively big jam, but guess he's tired of messing around.
Yep.
Picks up a little bit there.
At this point, though, you made it this far. A guy should try to win the trophy. I think that'd be important to me.
Absolutely.
The money will come and go.
That's all I care about is the trophy. Still looking for one. That's why it's
I
so
understand.
important.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. People, it's very, very, very difficult to win a poker tournament.
It is.
It's very difficult. A lot of things have to go right. So DeCharo with about a 3-1 chip lead here. He's been chipping away.
Yeah, he has. He's kind of ramped up his aggression here too, I think.
And
Oh,
once
boy.
again gets a better hand.
What did Robolato
Wouldn't
do?
surprise me to see He did open jam with the queen deuce. So it looks like he's just going to pump out a raise here.
To 300.
That's a pretty big raise.
Wow, and DeCharo folds.
I would never fold an ace there. I'm surprised he folds that.
I am too.
I guess he's looking to play him in position. But you know what was interesting there is Robolato had been raising to 200. Well, did he just raise to 300 on 2550?
Yeah.
So that was a 6x.
6x raise. I mean, it was a half a stack almost. It was a third of a stack.
I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah, I was like,
am
am I seeing this
did
correctly?
he really just raise 6x? Okay, well that's certainly unorthodox, I guess. And this comes back to remember what we had talked about earlier, that Robolato has a tendency to raise
More with weaker hands.
he raises more, a higher denomination
Right.
versus with his weaker hands.
Yeah.
I think when he comes back and watches this, this will be good for him because
He'll pick
that's
up on
a
that.
pretty big tell. Like DeCharo clearly hasn't picked up on it because he would have jammed
Snap
with the
called.
ace sticks.
Yeah.
He would have jammed with the ace. He would have sensed that Robolato was weak.
175.
But then again, DeCharo can't see the cards like he doesn't have all the information that you and I have.
Right.
We get the advantage of seeing Robolato's hand relative to his raise.
I feel like we
raise
could
him.
win if we could see the cards at the table.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good
I'd
shot
still
of it.
screwed up, but
I was going to say, I can't-
whereas DeCharo obviously can't. He does, he knows that Robolato raised 6x, but he has no idea what he did that with. So, when you don't have any information, you try to piece it together over time. But
Well, see, this would be a spot where I wouldn't mind seeing Robolato just call.
try to trap him a little
Try to
bit.
trap him a little.
Brian Molesky, Judd Greeneagle here at whatever your name is.
It's fine.
Here at Best Bet Jacksonville, one of the best card rooms in the country.
For sure, the best one in Florida.
Yeah, number one in Florida, and number one in the country as far as I'm concerned,
Also, our #1 stop on the MSPT this year.
yep,
First stop of the season.
one of over 20.
So this event and the opening event, I believe, both counted in our Player of the Year.
Yep, the 100K guarantee, the 50K guarantee, and of course, we've got the 200K guarantee. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. is Flight 1A. Saturday, I believe, is 3 p.m. Flight 1B. Check the schedule, though, on, of course, msptpoker.com or bestbetjax.com. You can find we've also got a bunch of, satellites running over the next couple of days. If you don't want to direct by the 1100, you can certainly get in for far less.
All right, we've got an all-in and a call here. DeCharo with the 7s and Robolato with the 9-10.
So if Robolato can hit,
I don't know
we're
how
gonna have a new
Robolato
game.
doesn't win this.
So
How dirty would
DeCharo
it be
about a
if he hits
2-1
an ace
fave.
here? Oh boy.
Wow, look at those outs. 20 outs.
Yeah, he's got too many outs.
DeCharo's got
It's
to
gonna be
fade 20 outs.
3 diamonds.
Oh, you faded 20 outs.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Congratulations to Joe DeCharo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joe DeCharo is your Event 6 champion.
Wow.
He will take home, well, with the chop, he'll still take home $11K and, of course, that tremendous-looking trophy,
From
which
Best
it really
Bet
is, at
Jacksonville.
Best Bet Jax. So that's it. We have a Event 6 champion. So we will be back to broadcast the
Sunday night.
the main event final table with probably close to 100K, if not more, up top. And looking forward to that. So we'll probably see everybody out here this weekend. If you're not here yet, I know you're on your way. So checking out from this great event. It was a great final table. It was certainly a lot of excitement. It was a lot of
There was some
great
great play,
play.
some interesting play. It was fun.
Yep, and of course, congrats to Mick Robolato, who played tremendous, and man, he's got a knack for making some big folds, and which allows him to run deep in these tournaments. So, congrats to him as well. For he'll take home just shy of $8,500 for a $200 buy-in event. So very
Great
cool.
job, guys.
That's it. We'll be back Sunday night for the main event final table. Tune in msptpoker.com, and of course check out bestbetjax.com. And as always, you should be checking out pokernews.com about 17 times a day to catch up on the
Exactly, all
latest
the news.
news in the poker world. So that's all we got. Brian Molesky and Judd Green Eagle signing out. Peace.